Back to the upside we go here in a pretty good way so far this morning for not only tech stocks, but the overall market rallying coming on the back of Thursday's pullback, thanks in part to, there's Apple right now leaning back to the upside. Amazon even better after a blowout report after the close yesterday. Look at Amazon approaching $254. We'll talk about both of those coming up. Netflix as well, out of nowhere, trying to steal both of those spotlights by announcing a 10-for-1 split. Coming back down a little bit this morning here for Netflix so far, but get ready to trade Netflix around $110. I mean, if it holds these levels, obviously in a matter of time here, but absolutely tech in focus once again this morning. The Nasdaq in focus once again. Both Apple and Amazon absolutely impressive after the close yesterday, specifically iPhone 17 demand, and also the capacity for them to be able to fill that demand seems to be much better than expected. Yeah, it's a tale of two different stories. On the day prior, on Wednesday, we had seen very much weakness in tech report. And then the two laggards, Amazon and Apple, that had been basically the weakest Mag 7 names of the year, catching a bit of a bid. Good to see. Lots to talk about today, guys. Good morning. Coinbase up here nicely to start the day. They reported earnings after the bell yesterday, up 4.25%. And Reddit, it goes up again, Brendo, 12.5% as they use their information, of course, licensing that to LLMs off which they're training, and then Nvidia right back close to all-time highs, up 2% again here, Brendo, as Jensen making comments overnight. And a couple of other earnings reports names, we got Roku and Lumen to the downside. Nvidia just marching higher as it normally does. Yeah, this Reddit report, pretty impressive. Sean and I wrote it last week, I guess it was, with some of the guys from the NYSE talking a little bit about the data source that Reddit has compiled and is offering now as a service to different exchanges and different API usages. But it was pretty impressive for Reddit. So I'm just keeping my eye out here for more on this Canada GDP. We just got Canadian GDP on a month-over-month basis, Sharif. Oh boy. Negative 0.3%. Versus a prior 0.2%. So that's actually a little bit better than expected. I saw as much as negative 0.5 was expected yesterday, but still in the red here for this side of the board. Yeah, Brendo, like we always talk about this, has Canada bottomed? Has the economy bottomed as we start these big nation building projects that are going to take years and years to develop? Yeah, I feel like we may have some more downside with the Bank of Canada cutting rates again to kind of alleviate some of the pressure. I mean, going to take 2 quarters, technically 2 quarters in a row on the negative side to account for a recession, but we'll keep that in mind. So negative 0.3 versus 0.2 on the positive side expected there for Canadian GDP. A plethora, guys, of individual names this morning. Take your pick. Good morning.
Well, I don't know why you had to start off with talking about Canada on such a good... Canadian economy is a huge downer. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. The Jays are going to win the World Series tonight. Amazon's up 13%. Apple blew it out. Market's up 1%. And we got talking about the Canadian economy, which is in the tanks.
What Canadian economy? Think about Canadian economy.
Debbie Downer over here. Yes, the Canadian economy stinks. We get it. I had to do some Jays gear. But my soda pop today is Amazon because it's up 13%. So we're happy about that.
I want... So I see some people are already guessing.
Good luck.
Okay, I want you guys to guess, what we're doing here. And I know I have the Palantir hat on, but it's not. It is tied to it. This is stock market based costume. The guys' costumes at the desk are stock market based reporters.
I see. Okay, there's a
money tree. Yeah, that's what Joe guessed. Close. It's very close.
That's very
Nobody else guessed, but that is close. It is close.
Well, that Huang got mine.
I'll keep going. Yeah, yours is
mine's a little easier. I promised my daughter we're supposed. I'm going to the game tonight, so I can't trick or treat with her. We're supposed to do a K-pop theme, and we do theme costumes in my household. So I'm supposed to dress as Saja Boy. She's dressing up as Rumi, and my wife is dressing up as one of the other ones, but I have to do this because I'm not going to be there tonight. And you have to wear Jay's gear. There's another good guess. I really like the Dollar Tree guess.
Rich Mossy Oak. Yeah, that's close.
It's close, but that's
the Rich Mossy Oak. Yeah, which one?
Dollar Tree.
Oh, Dollar Tree. That would have been yes.
I actually like that almost as much as what it actually is, to be honest with you.
Yes. Should I tell people what this is?
No. Let them keep guessing. Let them keep guessing.
They guess until we see something. Okay.
That's a dollar industry. I like that one.
Yeah, stock market pay. I mean, this stock market show. You know, it's a trading show.
You know what I was going? If I didn't do this,
you know, we did hot dog. We were the hot dog guy at one point.
I had a plan. If I didn't do the K-pop, whatever, I was gonna wear an Eli Manning jersey.
And then go Eli 1, 2, 3 or something.
No. And that's fantasy football. What a great trade that was for me.
Dollar Tree is good.
And then put some lilies on it and just go Eli Lilly would have been that was my back.
We have a winner.
Who got it?
We have a winner.
Shout him out.
Shout out to YY. He got it. There it is right there. YY got it.
Yeah.
It's a hedge fund. That's right. Well, this is a hedge. So I'm a hedge with funds in it. The hedge fund. The hedge fund. You know?
You haven't seen the movie.
Wait to see what Joe is. Then you guys are going to go crazy when you see Joe.
We'll make some guesses.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Anyways, and I got the Palantir hat because, you know, what hedge fund, you know?
Or Daryl always
green.
represents, though. She'll represent, too.
Anyways. Oh, shoot. Some money's falling out of this tree right now. Oh, word. This hedge fund outfit may not last.
Real money.
More than.
It'll be fun.
My wife did this, so I want to say shout out to her, man. It was all her idea, and then she got it together. And then last night we were putting on. I got to get some more, maybe some clips or something here for the money, but it's coming off right now. She said, "Am I going to get in trouble for printing?"
Don't tear that currency.
She said, "Am I going to get in trouble for printing money?" I said, "We print money every day." You know. But anyways, there it is.
Dijon Musters, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Just because the character's name is Abs doesn't mean I'm doing that.
I don't know any of the characters.
If I was Sharif, I could pull it off. You know what? I actually don't. There's Baby and Abs, and then there's the main guy. I don't even know. I couldn't even.
I don't.
I've seen K-pop Demon Hunters probably.
I've never watched
7 or 8 times with my daughter,
Oh,
and I still couldn't name all of the characters properly.
I think my kids, we got away with watching it once, and I was around, but I wasn't. Yeah. They're not obsessed.
It's so like though the kids are.
Yeah.
Crazy over that movie. And the funny thing is we can always take it back to stocks. Finally, Netflix, see, there you go.
Yep.
Finally, Netflix decides to split. They do it every like 10 to 12 years, announcing the split. Obviously, nothing fundamental changes, and it's selling right back off. It was up like 3% before. But hey, it'll be a lot easier for everyone to play an option. So better for retail, better for day traders, all that good stuff. It's going to close under the 200 period. I think if this actually holds under the 200 period and trends a little further down, I think there's going to be a buy spot in them. But as I said, you do a stock split, it's not really that big of a deal, but I like that it's happening. We'll probably see more trades of Netflix. I think it's in mid-November, I believe. I'd have to double check. Dare probably hasn't memorized, but yeah, I think that's a good story. Meta should be next. I mean, Meta should do it for sure. Chipotle is an example of when it didn't work, unfortunately. And I actually am not the Debbie Downer in it, but Chipotle feels like it could be a round 2 if it tries to fail this 34 again. I had that on my mind, but let's go back up to the desk. Lots to cover this morning and a great day for the markets. Good start. Let's keep those gains.
Yeah, a couple other things to consider here this morning. I was just hearing AWS, they were talking about Amazon here. There was a couple of analyst notes coming through for Amazon still, and another one for Apple still. Jeffries just out with an uptick on Apple. Here's Amazon right now with another pop back to 254, 255. So just be aware if you're watching some of these, some analysts still with opinions coming through. I think we should do a poll though, Neil and Sean.
Oh yeah, those are fantastic. Neil took me by surprise
Neil,
there.
Sean and Joe. Joe has left.
No, but Neil took me by surprise because he had his Jays jersey on, so I didn't see this whole outfit that he had on there. And already got on
the
camera.
last second wardrobe.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? Yeah. Shout out to Neil. But this is a good look, Brendo, for AWS. Yeah. It's the fastest time they've grown since back in 2022. They're back to, plus over 20% growth. They grew at 20.2%. And why is AWS so important? It's our highest margin product. Their e-commerce business, we're talking single digits, low double digit margins, while we're talking about well. 60 to 70% gross margins for AWS. So the faster this one grows, the better it does. $33 billion in revenue they took on the quarter. The street was only looking for 32.4, so an easy beat there. But their advertising revenue as well, Brendo, another higher margin product, continues to grow nicely, high double digits over here, 21% year over year for advertising. That's almost all profit there. So good look, and let's see what they do. Obviously, we talked about the restructuring, the corporate restructuring with 14,000 sadly being laid off. But as I brought on the midday yesterday, a bit of a different take as to why these individuals are being laid off, sadly. It's really not to do with AI replacing their jobs. It's really about maintaining margins because AWS can't grow fast enough in order to offer their shareholders the same type of growth, so they've got to reduce a fixed cost. Sadly, this is one of those fixed costs that gets reduced.
It was good to see, though, in defense of that. I mean, it's jobs are jobs, but it was good to see that they were at least offering them first shot at some of other internal positions that were available. So I think it's just going to be more of this going into the end of the year, specifically on the AI side of things, but not necessarily that people are losing their jobs, but shifting to different types of work going forward. So let's bring in Michael Noss to wrap up the week. Michael Noss's costume today is the Eastern Canadian, and I don't know, I tried.
The tired dad who's
tired
kids
dad.
getting
like
a little
that.
too spooked, a little too early. So I slept in a race car bed last night, and I probably look like it.
No, you look wonderful as always. It's an interesting point in the market here, Michael, with not only what has happened this week with tech earnings, but I mean, we get the Fed. We're getting to the end of some of these major tech earnings. Obviously, Nvidia is going to come, as it always does, in a couple of weeks to wrap things up entirely. But just give us your thought from a higher perspective here, where the overall market just seems to continue floating higher every day.
Yeah, we're in a weird zone where I think for at least the short term, everything we care about is kind of behind us. And now we're just looking forward for political stuff, which I think is probably the most uncertain. And what I mean by that is, FOMC, we wanted to see what J-Pow said. We all knew what was going to happen there. And then we also have all of the major earnings I think most people care about are out of the way. Nvidia is going to report earnings in a while, but we've already heard from pretty much all of Nvidia's customers. So we kind of can know what they're going to make and that it's going to be good, I guess, at this point. So that's why I think it's up like 2% post-market. But yeah, we're kind of in this phase in which the only thing that we're really looking at now is the whole government shutdown thing. And there's nothing that anyone from kind of the Wall Street side can do about that. So we just have to wait to see what damage has taken place. But I brought 3 charts, and these are kind of, in fitting for Halloween. These are what I'm going to just call my spookiest charts. And the reason for it is that most things are looking good. And, I've got this whole argument that we're not in a bubble, and I'll bring you all that on Monday. I'm going to get a bunch of charts about what the average stock is doing, which is not very much. But if the market is going to struggle here or turn here, these are the sectors that have been looking to me the most weak, and I think they're actually kind of important. So again, I don't think that we're, the top of a bull market or anything like that, but again, fitting for the day, I wanted to bring some charts that look a little bit worrisome to me, and I guess we could just kind of call them spooky. So first one is just ticker MOO or MOO, which is hilarious, and this is agriculture stocks. So you're talking about stocks that grow things and make food, and obviously very important, and not only have been in a bit of underperformance for a number of years, this chart's going back to 2023, but starting to look like a potential kind of rounded top and a potential breakdown here. That not a huge part of the S&P 500, but obviously a big part of the economy overall and what we need kind of as a society. We all need food. So the fact that these guys are not breaking out or making highs or doing any kind of excitement, that would be kind of one check that I'd say, okay, well, we need this. This next chart I think is a little bit more important, which this is ITB. So this is home builders. And you would think if I just kind of took this chart away and said, okay, we're in a rate cutting cycle, they're lowering rates, unemployment is still pretty good, people have jobs, you would expect this chart to be pointing higher, because if people are able to build more homes and buy homes cheaply, then you would think that the companies that build those homes would be going up. And nice little kind of fake out above this 99 area support that we've been in a while here, but looks like for now, if we can't hold that and turn higher, that this could just be a big lower high and kind of complete this head and shoulders style look that you're seeing here on home builders. And with a head and shoulders on home builders and that breaking down, generally just, again, not what you want to see in a healthy economy. You want to see home builders making money because they're building more homes, because there's this huge demand for people to buy homes because they're very wealthy. So this on a breakdown, this is another spooky chart here. And last but not least, and I think probably the most important, is just XLF as a whole, the financial sector. And this is more importantly the big guys, regional banks. I know they're down quite a bit as well, but to be honest, I think the entire market cap of regional banks is less than Nvidia or less than Apple or any of these big companies. I think it's like 1 trillion. I think I read somewhere all of the regional banks put together. So not tiny, but not a huge deal. But these are the big guys. This is your JP Morgan, your Goldman Sachs, your Bank of America, your big names like this. And they're not able to kind of poke near highs that we're seeing the S&P 500 and that we're seeing the Qs at. So with this kind of struggling and on a verge of a potential breakdown of this 52 area, this is spooky as well. So we're talking about banks, we're talking about home builders, and then the people who make and grow our food, all of which not able to catch a bid in this market. So the focus, rightfully so, because the largest component of all of these indexes is large cap tech, and large cap tech is doing fantastic. But under the hood, we're really not seeing that participation. And this can obviously change, right? We could turn around and rip here. However, it's just not happening yet. So that's what I want to see in order to get this next leg higher, because AI can kind of rip all day. If the smaller guys under the hood are struggling, well, then that's going to be kind of the real economy and what makes that go, again, especially this XLF chart, because if these guys are under pressure, they're not lending money to new startups, they're not lending money to kind of small mom and pop operations. So these are guys that are really important. So if we are going to see some cracks in the system, I think it's probably going to come from one of these three charts.
If you go back to the beginning of the year, Q1 even, at any point, I feel like you and I were maybe even sitting here having this very same conversation, talking about the simple fact that it's 10 stocks doing the heavy lifting, dragging the entire market along with it. At the end of the day, here we are at the other end of the calendar, and that narrative hasn't changed, but the market continues to, just float higher. So is it a fact of, it would be great to see some of these catching up, but it really hasn't negatively impacted the market overall this year?
Well, and this comes to kind of, I guess, a meta conversation, and I'll bring some charts here on Monday for this, but kind of what is the market without getting too crazy about it. If you look at the RSP, or the equal weighted large cap index, just shows how much on average people are up. Year to date, it's up like 5%. There's not a huge year for the overall market, and really just at those highs from November 2024, we're still battling those highs before the tariff tantrum. So the average stock hasn't done amazingly this year. It's kind of all in this sector. So it comes down to what is the market. And, I think a lot of people are looking at their portfolio and they're seeing a lot of people make a lot of money in some of these other names. They're like, well, my stocks aren't ripping. And that's going to become a problem for them going forward. And I think the RSP is going to be a more important indicator to what your average mutual fund institution, these type of names are doing, and what are they going to do to kind of shore up performance. Because right now you're either in the cap weighted index or you're just dramatically underperforming.
And at the end of the day, it's still that outperformance that is dragging the entire market on its back along with it up to all-time highs as we go again. Great stuff as always. Michael Noss, have a wonderful weekend. Get some sleep. We'll see you again on Monday.
I'll talk to you Monday. Have a happy Halloween.
Thanks, Michael.
Sleep. I never sleep because sleep is a cousin of death.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was very, very lucky. I think it's because my wife. I missed 0 hours
I don't even understand how that's possible.
2 kids. 0 hours.
I don't even understand.
Both of us. It was like they just slept through, man. They woke up, they went right, they got fed, and that was that.
Luckiest parents ever.
honestly, yeah.
I can't even, like, that is the greatest story ever. I remember one night specifically, my daughter was in a condo. And my daughter, like, she woke up and I guess she was throwing up or whatever. She, is a baby, which happens. And she's making all kinds of mess. And here's the thing. I woke up.
Throwing up is the worst.
No, I woke up in the morning.
Is the worst.
And I go into the kitchen and there's like like the cleanup. I'm like, oh man, it must have been really bad last night. I go to my wife and said, oh shoot, like I feel so bad that you had to get up in the middle of the night and clean up all of that mess. And she's like, what are you talking about? It was your night. I'm like, I didn't get up in the middle of the night. It's like, well, who cleaned up all that puke? I didn't even remember that I had woken up in the middle of the night and done it. That's how tired I was. Like, it's crazy. Like, but everyone's, it's all different. But it's the best experience in the world, man.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. But you know what? We got a special treat for you.
Yes.
Well, you're used to seeing Joey options. Maybe talk a little about upgrades and downgrades. Well, I'm upgrading the costumes on the show.
Yes.
Haha, yes. Happy Friday, everyone. The best bar down bandit of all time. Yes, number 10. Whoa. Who's hitting the fail on that? That is crazy. Who hit that? Schneider, that's crazy. Look at these stickers.
That's fantastic.
That's W's here, man. Come on, let's go. Bar down bandits, baby. All right, guys, let's take a look at the upgrades and downgrades. To top the list, we are looking at Morgan Stanley upgrading Apple with a price target of $305. Amazon by Telsey Advisory Group, another 3 in front of that one, guys, $300. Up substantially on the session, 12.2%. Now, Crocs getting the upgrade as well, too, guys. $100 is going to be that price target. And Twilio by Bank of America, $110, up 10.8% on the day. Now, on the downgrades, guys, we have Roblox by Benchmark going from a buy to a hold. And then we have Strategy, yes, Mr. Michael Saylor and Company by BTIG Research, getting that price target lowered to $630, up substantially on the day. Now, Columbia Sportswear by Stifel Research, getting it lowered to $60. And then we have National Cinemedia by Barrington Research, lowering that price target to $6.50. Now, as for some of the options activity, guys, MSTR yesterday on today's expiration cycle put in 45,700 contracts with 34 still currently open. Now, Coinbase as well, too, guys, relatively light on the volume, but you can see an uptick within the open interest with 23,000 contracts still currently open. And then Apple, once again, a lot of these big names, guys, at that 280 strike price, once again expiring on today, Halloween, yes, that's right, with volume 54,900 and 19,300 still currently open, guys.
Yeah, obviously it being end of the month, Friday, big earnings. I'd expect you're gonna see some walls in a few places. So just always got to keep that in mind. Like Palantir 200, I kind of feel like that's going to be a difficult one to break away from. We saw what happened with Tesla at 250 last week. Sorry, 250. 450 last week. But Roblox on the upgrade downgrade list. After yesterday, like this is one of those, well, when the candle looks like this, maybe it's going to give you an opportunity to trade lower. Like it was just a huge rejection. It's bouncing now because everything's bouncing. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Apple. Thank you, Nvidia. Thank those three. Everything.
Thank you, South Korea. You know.
Thank you, South Korea.
Yeah, Nvidia didn't do anything.
Oh, Nvidia, that's right. Nvidia was just themselves. And
exactly.
But Roblox, I think, is bouncing because of that. We'll see. But big rejection on the daily of prior highs. So today, just if it does any kind of a pop, just looking for all the obvious resistance spots. I don't think it gets to 130, but that's an obvious one. And then 125, 126, and then go into like the late morning high into 122. They just want to be reverting, particularly this name, because of what it sets up on the daily. Not because I like Roblox. It's just the setup. It's just that rejection candle. I'll be looking to fade back into this prior support level. You guys are all chuckling over some of the costumes, but I got to shout out to Anthony Cano in the chat. Just had a really good idea. We could have dressed up as construction workers for all of the work that's being done. And I'm mentioning that you guys can't see this, but for us, it's a big deal today because like that entire other half of the studio, it's back open. Like the walls are done, the floor is done. I don't know if we have a shot for it to be able to show you guys, but there was like the big plastic separating both sides. So pretty soon, I think we'll be able to move to where we're going to eventually be, and things are really progressing. So we appreciate all the patience.
Yes, thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody, thank you, Joe, for the options look there, for the upgrades and downgrades. I was looking at SoFi here today. I'm just completing the sticky note right now, just to get off of tech a little bit. SoFi continues to make a move down off of what was a good earnings report, just coming back in. So I'm going to be looking at 29 here on SoFi. So just another look other than all the big banks. And we had all the big tech names. We also had, XOM and CVX report, but it doesn't, we'll discuss the numbers, but they're not doing too much here. And then there's CVX on the other side of it as well, up to 156. So one is going down 1%, one is up 1%. So, we'll talk about these as they come through, but they're the two biggest names reporting here today, market cap wise, and it's already been done in the pre-market. Just look at the volume, nothing. And then you get yesterday's report, obviously from Amazon, almost 5 million shares right here in the pre-market, and looking to take out some local highs as well as we head into the open market. Yeah, it's either, it could be a money tree, which a lot of people have guessed, or it's supposed to be hedge fund. So I'm the hedge fund over here.
I like Dollar Tree.
Me too. I do like the Dollar Tree. I like the stock specific costume. Yeah. I think next year we could do. Dollar Tree would be great because
you got hundos there though.
That's it. Just throwing them.
You can see the
throwing
hundos
them around. Going to the club afterwards. Who knows what kind of club though?
Well, after the Jays win the series, there's probably going to
be some club.
The streets are going to be a club after the Jays win tonight.
I mean, you got
Oh, what happened?
We just lost our.
Is this streamed? Oh, it's just our screen, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you guys can still see us. I think it's just we have you guys know we have a little screen so we can see ourselves and what's on screen. Yeah, that just died in front of us. Probably just a cable or something.
Yeah, I didn't kick anything that time. Right?
It's just weird because what shot are we on? Is it on the solo shot? Is it on the two shot? I have no idea right now.
Okay.
Okay,
we'll get it figured out. Okay, let's go back over to the desk.
We can't see either, so.
Okay, as long as the cameras are working,
What are we going to do about it? As you were just saying, this renovation can't finish soon enough.
No, Brendo.
It's been a long time. It's been a long year. We're more than, I would say, 80% of the way there, I think, at this point. But we are going to get to a point where it's a little more finalized, I think, over the next couple of weeks. So that's good.
I got to tell you, I'm going to really miss the drilling and the noise during the midday. I've come to like it and enjoy it over the past few months. But
all right, well, why don't we just jump right into having a look at the overall market here and what we're going to look at from the watch list this morning. Absolutely packed.
Yeah, 68.54, Brendo. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. Look at that hole, guys. Double bottoming right into that 50-point area. We don't quite fill the gap. To fill the gap, we had to drop into 25, so we don't. We're moving up now. We've left 68.50 behind. We're actually above 6,900 right now. So look, if we hold 6,900 here during the day, we're looking at that same area we've been rejecting the last few days, 68.50. That'll be resistance area number one, Brendo. If we fail for whatever reason, we start selling off, we're looking at that 68.50 again as support.
As we continue to march higher into all-time highs, if you haven't done so yet, grab the watch list, absolutely free. Every single morning comes right to your inbox. Jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page, and then all you need is your email address. I wanted to show this first. Let me know, Andre, if you can. I can see your midday monitor from here. So I'll use that.
That's hilarious.
For reference. But if we can show this real quick, everything in red on the left-hand side of the screen here is all analyst moves this morning on Amazon, and they are all very positive. So this move was just pretty impressive after the close yesterday, just straight to the upside, and very much do so.
This was a blowout quarter, Brendo, for Amazon, and much needed because they were the weakest Mag 7 name on the year. Now they're not. EPS, guys, 195, blowing past the 157 expected by analysts on revenue of 180. That easily beats the 177.8. This is the main line though. AWS, this is their biggest moneymaker, 33 billion in revenue. We're talking about 80 some odd % gross margins, easily beating the 32.4 and growing over 20% again since 2022, the first time in a while. And as I mentioned earlier, advertising revenue, another high margin product for them, 17.7 billion in revenue, easily beating the 17 2/3. Their, as we talked about, Azure, their AWS, excuse me, continues to grow with CEO Andy Jassy saying growing at a pace we haven't seen since 2022, really referring to the robust AI and infrastructure demand the company's been seeing. With respect to guidance here, wow, I can't believe we're seeing this number. Over 200 billion in revenue expected for Q4, Breno. In fact, the range is 206 to 213. Easily beating the midpoint expected there by analysts on operating income of about 21 to 26 billion. And they did raise their CapEx forecast. So if we're looking for an AI bubble, we're certainly not seeing it from Amazon. We didn't see it from Meta. Yeah. We didn't see it from Google. They continue to spend aggressively.
Wait until there's drones dropping Amazon packages at your doorstep. That'll be even better, I think, for them. But I had to go to a weekly chart just to highlight the simple fact that not only is it all-time highs, but all-time highs and then some, guys. Looks great here for Amazon.
Yeah, and then some for sure. Look, Amazon, it's the AWS number. Like, if you think about it, nothing else really mattered because when everything was good last earnings and it was 18% and everyone was scared about the cloud growth, you saw what happened. Like, it shot all the way down like 211. It double bottomed there. And if you really, like, the way I look at it, you go 211 to like 240, and just that move there, I think there's room at some point to get to 270 before getting any kind of like a significant pullback. But today's a key day because you got to remember yesterday what happened to Alphabet, and that's going to be in the back of the mind. So yes, I like continuation over the high. I mean, the prior high is ridiculous, so you have to look at the aftermarket high and like this pre-market low. So in the 49 to 50 range for like a dip buy and go. VWAP is in play because I'm thinking long on it. But in the back of my mind, I'm going to remind myself that at the open, Alphabet, Friday chart, that this is what happened. We're dropping into the morning, into the open, and then all of a sudden we had a breakdown on Google. And it eventually caught a bid at 280. You just had to wait for an even dollar to show some support. And if that were to happen on Amazon, then I'll go with the same plan. Like my gap fill level, I'm just keeping it simple. 242 is kind of like around that prior high on the daily. So if we lose that bid, I just wait for a reversion down to the 42 or the 40 area. But I still want to play the top end. I give it a chance to hold 250 on a Friday. If it can do that, I think we can go higher. Just a great report from them, but it was always going to be all about AWS growth.
Yeah, we gave that number of 20%, right? And they got 20.2%. Yeah, so that's a win, right? And anyways, yeah, my big nervousness, as just reading over this report, the same thing that Neil said, was they got an increase in their forecast for CapEx, and we saw what they thought about Meta when Meta talked about spending maybe a bit more money than the street thought that they could or should. And they hit them early, so they're not concerned about that with Amazon, or else Amazon would be coming back in. So another monster quarter for another mega cap name that just continues to accelerate. And yeah, I don't see any reason to sell this name. I'm not going to be selling any of this. Like, this is why we just stay long. Right? We're long only, and Amazon just continues to be that one. I mean, everybody down here, again, came right into a level. We talked about it when it came into the 200 period moving average right there. That was a great opportunity to buy a great company. You know, with obviously earnings expectations being quite high, they beat them and passed. So there it goes to the upside. Now, will it fall back down at some point? Probably. You know, this is a big move. We saw big moves in Oracle and things like that that faded off as well. We saw a big move in Google yesterday that faded. But even if it comes back in, we still really like the story. And I think Amazon is a clear sale now moving forward, right? Prime days, they don't even talk about those anymore. Like, the numbers are just what they are. They're going to continue to be huge on the retail side of things. Plus, you got streaming. Plus, you got Thursday Night Football. They've got the Friday game for the NFL. There's just a lot happening in this space, and I really like Amazon. And I apologize if we're looking at the wrong cameras because we don't really know. So let's go back over now to the big desk and talk about, I'm going to assume Apple's next. Again, we cannot see, but
it is Apple.
Let's go back over and discuss Apple.
Sharif and I were just sitting here talking about some of these weekly charts as well. I mean, here's another one. Apple just absolutely gone to all-time highs and then some. 277.50 coming into play. Not much negative to talk about here as far as this earnings report. Demand, the forecast, holiday forecast, manufacturing, everything to the upside.
Well, Tim Cook's saying if they realize what he perceives to be the strongest quarter ever coming up for December, it'll be their best iPhone revenue sales quarter ever. So let's talk about this. So for the current quarter, Q3, which they had headwinds for, by the way, guys, revenue 102.47, beating the 102.26. Gross margins expanded 70 basis points sequentially and 100 basis points year over year, up to 47%, even though they had a $1.1 billion tariff cost. They were able to absorb that. September quarter is a record for revenue, a record for earnings, and a record for operating cash flow, and they expect those same records to repeat Q4 next quarter. So iPhone sales, really the biggest driver. It missed estimates of $49.03 billion. Reason is they had supply constraints. They couldn't make enough 16s, enough 17s. Apparently they've adjusted that. We'll have to wait and see. As I mentioned, the guide for the December quarter for iPhone revenue, Tim Cook calling it the best ever for the company if it materializes. They had decent reports for Mac and iPad sales. Wearables and home accessories continue to dip. Not sure why that's not moving the needle there. Their services revenue, Brendo, another record quarter, $28.75 billion, and they're bringing over $100 billion a year now from services, and we know those gross margins are in the mid-80s, so it's a huge boost for their EPS.
Some of these numbers from all of these companies are just out of this world at this point. 63% now from the April lows, guys, with this move this morning. 63% to the upside.
There's a lot to be impressed with here for Apple. Primarily, though, the thing that gets me the most, outside of the fact that next year they could get to like $500 billion revenue, like full year, possibly by next year, certainly by 2027. But it was the fact that the iPhone revenues was actually the only thing that missed as an individual line item. That was supply issues, but at the end of the day, to be up in spite of that, it was fantastic. And then you throw in services is the big deal anyways, and that was like 15% growth. So they just keep winning. The only thing is, if we go dip buy hunting today, like I always like an obvious top here, like it's like 273 something instead of 274, but it's just area between 273 half and 274 that I like for a dip buy. There's always VWAP as well, but if we do dip underneath and the market takes a dive, I kind of feel like I'll already be involved in like an Amazon or something if that's the case. So I'd put Apple kind of on the back burner if the market does a bit of a dip. But yeah, all systems go. I think this is one of those, it's a tired saying, but it's a true one. Own it, don't trade it kind of deal. I think it is tradable today. I'm a little skeptical that it's going to provide better opportunities than like Amazon or Nvidia or like Lumen or Palantir. Like those are all going to move a bit more, so I'll probably not end up trading Apple.
I don't know what's up with this. I was just looking at Marvell. I looked at it last night because it's the one that I'm, watching. And Marvell, we sold some at 88 or 89 a couple days, I guess, weeks ago, right into here. And then it fell back in, and we thought we were pretty cool about it. And now it is just straight fire in the booth, right back up there to the upside again for Marvell, looking to break out. This could be another one here. I didn't look at it enough on the daily to add it to the sticky note, but maybe it should be, man. $93. Where are we? Okay, so we're right at 93 now. I like Marvell today. Wow. That was a good one, man. We put a little bit of cash into that down there after earnings, so that was a good play. I want to just buy good companies when they get hit. That's it. It's that simple. And then I take some shots like in a shit company like Lulu, and it doesn't work out. Today in Apple, well, Lulu's still pending. Apple 275 long. I think that's pretty simple, man. We got as high as 285 earlier. We did get up. We're going to get up to 300, I feel like. Joey Options thinks there's going to be a 4 handle on this name possibly by next year. I think that's true, potentially up 33%. Apple can do that, right? But I'm just looking at the 200 period moving average is why I wrote down 275. I mean, we've seen it play on earnings a couple times. We can go back and show you. It wasn't Google yesterday. Maybe it was Microsoft, because Google, came right back in and went through everything. So I'm going to be sitting here to see this trade, right? And then just because it's Apple and it's only up 2%, I thought the quarter was fantastic, as Neil said. So I think 2% is not enough. The only thing is look at the run that this name has had, right? It's already like all of these names that were hitting near highs and broke out through them in earnings anticipation. So I just wonder how much of that move was sort of already baked in, which is why we're only up that 2%. But at the end of the day, man, I wrote it down. It's a long only trade for me. I'm not shorting anything. I know the Nasdaq's making this move here. That only makes my longs look better. So let's give it a breath. Again, yesterday I don't think we started trading until, I don't know, a couple minutes, which is probably not that long, but a couple minutes in. It might have even been the first minute, but I feel like being patient, we wrote yesterday. Today, I don't think we need to be that patient. I mean, I want to go long. The market's fallen back in here to VWAP. So if Apple gives me the trade, I'm just going to take it and deal with it. So that's what we're going to do. And we've been getting out, like yesterday's trade on Google, for example. And I think Amazon's more set up to Google because Google was up 9% yesterday, right? So here's the move that happened in Google yesterday. It was up huge. We had this trajectory in the AM, and then when the market opened, it cranked. And we got in and out here around 285 and 286, saving the day until this cluster happened, and that's where we loaded the boat up there near 280 and was able to get that $8-9 out of the name. Maximum $8-9. We were getting out on the way up, right? So I feel like that could be, and then look what Google did near the end of the day. So you know what, actually, looking at this here, Neil, the Google could be a good short. Like it trended all day yesterday. There was really no bumps in this stock all day. And they were like the great look yesterday on their report, and it still did this. So actually, now that I see this, I am taking a little bit of a pause for concern. However, yesterday I was noting to Sharif, yesterday my sticky note had all shorts. Short TQ, short IBIT, short. Right? IBIT went down to 106, or Bitcoin, all right, back to 110 now. Feel like there's a little bit better flow in this market than there was yesterday. But after seeing that chart there on Google, I don't know. It is a potential here because we did like Google's quarter a lot. Yeah. And it still got hit very significantly yesterday. It was down 8%. Remember, it ended the day down 2%, and I think it was up 9 or 10.
It was really a down 8% move for Alphabet. But you know what? I feel like if I'm going to be short, there's a few other names that are worth maybe taking a shot at. Like, I don't know. Like,
Where's HKD? What's that doing?
I was just about to mention this because I saw people in the chat talking about it. So HKD, I believe they reported because that's the only way. Okay, I'm going to read the number out here because HKD reported a 1,085% year-over-year increase in revenue, but
from 1 to 5.
That's $73 million.
Right. Okay. I was going to say what? So you just double 1 times.
I don't know what their market cap is. I'd have to look it up. Yeah. But yeah, you only get a 1,000% revenue increase if you don't have a lot of revenue to begin with. But for HKD, which is a squeeze type name,
it was $2. This was $2,500 at one point.
Whoa! This stock was.
Not on our charts.
Oh yeah, this is, I don't know how far I have to go back to be able to see it. This has been an absolute dumpster fire on HKG. But it is in play today on those earnings, and maybe this is one of those runners. Done 8 million shares already pre-market, actually more than that. But just get an idea of what the stock did before.
Look at this. Come over to my chart. Andre's busy right now. But
Epic.
I have it here. There it is. Thanks, Andre. Look at this. This is when HKD first came to market. This is a monthly chart. This is real. It really went to $2,500. And it might look better on a weekly or something like that. This just goes to show you I don't know. Does that look any better? I don't know. But this is what it looks like on a monthly chart. Looks like, hey, man, if we ever get back to 720, I'm shorting HKD, man, right there. 720, great little short opportunity. 500. Oh, but it's $1.69. Obviously, today it's back.
We got some work to do to get back to that price.
Yeah, so nice daily chart there for HKD anyways. But all right, I'm going to guess. I don't see the board, but I'm going to guess Nvidia maybe next. I don't know. Let's go back over to the boys and discuss whatever they want to.
Close. Reddit. Back to the upside in a big way here. In an effort to sound like Michael Noss, there's a bullish engulfing candle forming on the daily chart here today for RDDT. Yesterday, really negative going into the earnings report, and then here we are gapping back to the upside, taking out that entire down move and then some. I mean, still top end of the consolidation here, but decent results for Reddit.
It really is, Brendo. They're really benefiting from selling their data, of course, for these LLMs. Google, we're talking about OpenAI, all training their models off it. Let's talk about what they did on revenue, though. Fantastic look, as Brendo mentioned, an easy beat, 80 pennies for EPS. Street was looking for 51, so a blowout there. On revenue of 585 million, the Street was looking for 546, and that's also a 68% year-over-year increase on that top line number with net income, their profitability, 163 million, up sharply from the 30 million they took home last year. The growth, again, as we spoke about, driven by advertising, data licensing, as well as a new one here for me, international expansion. They're guiding quite well as well. Q4 revenue, almost $100 million higher. They're guiding 655 to 665 million, easily beating the 638 estimates. Their global average revenue per user, ARPU, $5.04, whooping the 482 expected by the Street. And let's talk about their user growth here. Their global daily active uniques, 116 million. Their logged in daily active users, 50.2. Logged out, Brendo, 65.8. And they continue to benefit, from their partnership with Google and OpenAI.
Huge reversal, as I said. If you zoom in a little bit, 15-minute chart shows it maybe a little bit better off of the lows from the earnings report. 220, 225 up here if you zoom out. Huge level here, guys, for Reddit.
And they trapped some people on Reddit. I feel like with that little surge, we always talk about how dangerous it is to trade in those earnings after market, because that trap under 220, 200, I should say, really, when it flushed, and then you get a bit of a rip, and now all of that money is punked, unfortunately. Oh, no. So it just needs to hold on to the top end of this range here, like 212 at the open. Like, this is an important one. Like, I mean, we'll probably reference Google a lot because of what happened at the open when it lost a bid, and it was just a hammer candle down. I think it's a similar thing. Like, if you lose this 212, it's a reasonable chance you could be down to 200. Now, there's arguments to be made that, from a valuation perspective, this is the kind of name that if we get some kind of a real market correction from these highs, Reddit could get beat up a little bit on that. That's fair. I don't think that's something we're dealing with today, necessarily. Like, today, I think it just needs to hold on to that 212 off of that open range, and then you can start going. The issue with Reddit is volume isn't always, it's not a lot of volume in the pre-market, so the fact that it's gapped up here doesn't tell you much. You want to be able to see when that volume comes in off the open, and then remember it's a Friday. I'm default to maybe being a little bit more patient right at 9:30 on a Friday especially. I know, like Sean said, like sometimes patience means you're not in until like 9:35 in something, or 9:40. Maybe 9:40 would be really late. But I kind of feel that way about a stock like Reddit. Like, I would not want to necessarily be in this thing in the first minute. Give it a bit of a heartbeat, make sure the buyers have emerged above 212, and then join. I don't like maybe the buy here in the long term personally, but for the day trade, we can do it as long as it holds that open.
We are, yesterday we got a huge, and I don't know, I guess Netflix is probably on the board as well, but yesterday we got the big 10-for-1 stock split on Netflix, so that's starting to head back in, but that was a great. Netflix is going to be traded a hell of a lot more on this show. Because I remember I didn't even really trade Nvidia when it was, I was still trading it, but $1,300, $1,500, $2,000 makes it a lot easier to trade a name in the triple digits or double digits rather than 4 digits. So we'll be happy with that with Netflix. Okay, the only metric, well, first of all, they beat everywhere. You just heard all the guys talk about it. I was just going to focus on the 17 and 18% short float right here for Reddit. So I think there's something about that we can consider on this move, right? I mean, big short float, for a big name. Like, you don't see a lot of the companies that are so talked about, like a Reddit, as a respectable business that would have that kind of 17, 18, 20% short floater. So that's safe for the Open Doors of the world and things like that, BBAI. But for Reddit to have that much short in it, I just wonder if there is a lot of room now to go to the upside, if these shorts get squeezed. And it's still a big percentage, man. 1 out of every 5 shares, right? 17, 18%. I know that's 20%, but as you continue to go higher here, very good opportunity to buy this name if we ever get in the 200 area. I think they solidified it with this report. We do know that the LLMs are pinging these guys all over the place. There's a lot of money to be made in that space. And I know that they did have some, the OpenAI, I think there was a report a couple weeks ago that they were hitting them less on their queries. But I like Reddit. It's unique information. And yeah, I think there's a space for it in your portfolio as more of a risk-on asset, right? I think it's definitely has its ups and downs there. But Reddit was just a miss off IPO. I mean, it was such a great stock. Like a year ago today, this stock was $70. You know, now it's $240, and we're thinking, or $220, and we're thinking higher. You know, so it's been a great run for Reddit. Anybody that could have like dug into what AI and these large language models and some of the effects that they were having, and Reddit was definitely a winner in all of that, right? So let's just continue to see some good strength here in RDDT. I'm surprised that Netflix is Netflix on the board? Maybe it is.
It is. I think it's Netflix.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one because it's coming back right now. So let's go over to Ross Atkins and David Schneider and get the update on Netflix.
I like that, actually. I'll take that. I'll take that, definitely. Netflix, next, actually, on the board. We're still flying blind here, guys. Just bear with us. Netflix to the downside right now, but a huge move after the close yesterday, as Sean was mentioning. Get set for the ability to trade this thing around 110 bucks, depending on where it ends up going into the split. Going 10 for 1 here for Netflix, trying to steal the spotlight of Apple and Amazon last night.
Clearly, Brendo, because it moved up aggressively on that news as well. Let's talk about it. So they, as Brendo mentioned, 10 for 1 stock split coming up. The purpose it really is to make it more accessible for the employees who want to, use that stock option friendly plan, as well as retail investors who don't have access to fractional shares. So it's going to be for shareholders of record on the 10th of November. They're going to receive an additional 9 shares per share owned, and the split is going to be effective November 17th. We already know the stock's up 42% year to date, and the last time, Brendo, that they split was 2015 and 2004. So I guess not a moment too soon. And there's another headline. There's a potential merger here, or acquisition, I should say, with Warner Brothers. Netflix is actively exploring a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery Studio and streaming assets. And guess what? They've been actually granted financial data room so that they can analyze some of their financials, which is part of the due diligence. So we know that the step is moving. It's not just talks, because you don't give somebody access to your financials if they're not serious. The acquisition would give Netflix control of major IPs like Harry Potter, DC Comics, and integrate HBO's content. The CEO, Ted Sanderos, he said, look, we want to build, not buy, but they want to strengthen their portfolio where it makes sense.
It was interesting to note that they also went out of their way to mention that it would not be including any of the traditional media assets as well. So just to make that point clear.
They don't want it, Brendo.
They don't care about traditional media, clearly, for Netflix. Good reason, guys. But it's going to be, I guess, a week or two here before we get this done. But as you were saying, Sean, 110 bucks-ish to trade Netflix, not bad.
Netflix only needs one thing. They just need to hit, the split's great. They just need to hit K-pop Demon Hunters again.
Well, that's the guy you are.
Get another one.
Yeah.
So the guy's name is, his name is Abs, and I'm not doing it, so just,
does he normally show his abs?
It's the whole
Oh, okay.
thing. Yeah, the whole time that's all he does. That's even how he does. It's kind of silly. But for everyone that keeps asking, if you've seen it a million times like I have, you actually would know the characters. But I think we're getting progress on that monitor. Maybe? Nope.
Yeah, it looks like
maybe.
it is moving around.
Something's happening.
We want to thank Mark and Rob and
guys.
Russell. They're all working like crazy.
I'm disappointed in Netflix here. So it gapped up. It's good news, but it's not great. It doesn't fundamentally change anything here. Like, obviously, the ad tier's been going well. I can't really complain about that. But it's been trending down under VWAP all morning, so that's a big disappointment. I think you just have to chill out while it's consolidating under the 200-period moving average. Like, let it make a move, and if it decides to make the move up and regain the 200, then that's a spot. Like, I'm always more interested, like, when it regains a moving average or something, and when it's consolidating under, I'll kind of almost hope that it breaks lower to stick in a dip buy somewhere, whether it's the 1,000 level. Obviously, if it got down to like 850 to 900, I think that's an auto buy. But yeah, for today, I think we sit this one out. Oddly enough, because there's no opportunity to talk about it otherwise, I was just gonna throw out I know you were looking at Palantir 200.
No, it's not
because it's a Friday, obviously options expiration, $200 for me. If it does a failed breakout at this price, I'm just reminded about what happened in Tesla. I believe it was last week.
Is waiting
if
for
I can
signal.
find that day in Tesla. I don't know if I can find it. Yeah, this is the one. So if you look at last Friday, what happened in Tesla, it failed to 450 right away at the open. Breakout, went $1, $1.50 or something, and then slammed back down. If I see that in Palantir, I'm going to have that up at 9:30. If it's a quick fail break that's heavy, I'm going to try and join it to the downside. But that's only if it fail breaks. If the thing breaks out and just starts going crazy, I'm not going to just short it to oblivion. I'm only looking for that topping tail candle specifically in Palantir. Just it's a similar
Short
setup.
to oblivion. It's not going to oblivion. But
No. I mean, like my oblivion. Like if 200 breaks and just keeps going, I'm not trying to short 01, 02, 03.
Yes.
I'm trying to short if it fails the break and underneath 200 is the play.
I had that short written down yesterday. Didn't have the balls. There's back. It worked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rob.
Good job.
Rob.
Now we can see.
All right. Thank you. Now we can see. So, all right, we're back. All right. So, okay, just on, so first of all, on Palantir, same thing. I had it written down short yesterday. Didn't take it, but we'll take the long again today if it does break out. I mean, we nailed it with this Netflix talk. I already think that, the reverse split doesn't solve what we already thought about earnings, right? They got hit. It's on the way back in. They're trying to find support. I think it's false support when you get news like this because that doesn't change anything about the company. So let's let this reverse split. This comes November 17th. So when it splits November 17th, this name will be whatever the price is divided by 10. So it'll be down to $110 or whatever, 120, whatever it is at that time. And then we'll look and trade it off of that. Because right now, I just feel like it's still able to break this 1090 based on its merit. The stock shouldn't trade up based on a split. We've talked about that a lot, but as it split yesterday, we had it live on the show. It was really super exciting when we had that news, because I think it does give now another bull case for owning Netflix besides everything else. And, the problem with everything else was it resulted in a pullback of about 15%. So now you get that. You get a little bit of a false bump here today. Let's just see if it holds. This could be a great bottom down there around 1090, but I don't really want to step into anything here until that reverse split happens. So Palantir is a great look. Let's go talk a little bit about crypto, as we did have Riot Blockchain and Coinbase and whatnot, and Bitcoin now at 110.
Yeah, let's talk about some of these crypto names to wrap things up here. We had Coinbase, we had Strategy, we had Riot, all out with earnings as well after the close yesterday. A lot of people talking about this comment from Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, opening a live prediction market, going into the earnings call, monitoring what he was going to say on the earnings call, and getting a lot of credit for that. Great way to highlight a product, obviously, for them.
Clearly.
That being said, I mean, we were up to start things off here for Coin, back to the downside right now.
Yeah, Brendo, look, this was a really good report, and they have more visions of just being, a crypto exchange. They want to be an everything exchange. That's what he was talking about on the call. What do I mean by that? Well, Coinbase now supports over 40,000 products. Take the 300 that they had earlier this year and compare that to the 40,000 they have now. A lot of that obviously in the crypto field. They're looking to be the everything exchange for everybody. They just don't want to be crypto centric. But let's talk about how they did on earnings. Their Q3 EPS coming in nicely here, $1.50, smashing the expectations by the street of 110 on net income of $432 million. Compare that to the $75 million they brought in profit last year, a marked increase there. Also beating on the top line easily, $1.87 billion ahead of the 1.8. Their transaction revenue as well, $1 billion, rising 37% sequentially from Q2, where it basically was renewed trading crypto activity, both with retail and institutional investors, so they're not just seeing it from one or the other. It was also aided, Brendo, by the lighter U.S. regulatory pressure under new President Trump's administration as agencies eased the restrictions on digital asset firms.
It's worth noting as well, $300 million in Q4 acquisitions of Bitcoin, which was higher than other miners combined. So, and he said on the call as well, they're going to continue buying Bitcoin. So, yeah, I mean, positive for them so far anyways, but here's MSTR real quick. a little bit of an uptick here, guys, but some of these crypto-related earnings moves kind of ho-hum so far today.
Ho-hum is the right word. Like Coinbase actually dropping through 340. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this one as long. It had been languishing before, and I don't think it gets to key levels. Just so you know, everybody, there was a 2.5 million sell imbalance on Amazon that is now completely paired off. So they paired it. I mean, significant sell imbalance, as I said, on Amazon, and it dropped right into the 250 level. So it looks like it is going to test that aftermarket top there, 249, 250 almost right away. I had some eyeballs on IBIT, as usual, as this has been a little bit disappointing of a name the last couple of days. I don't know if it goes back into Thursday's highs, but the key level to me is like 63 and a half. I don't know if it gets up there for a fade. Got to drop the countdown for the final time this week. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy World Series day for the Jays, I certainly hope. Let's ring that bell in 2 and 1. Let's go.
All right, welcome everybody. We're looking for an Nvidia break to the top of 207 and change. We're also waiting for a 205 dip buy on Nvidia. We also have Palantir is going to execute right now, breaking through 200 at some point. Hopefully that goes in once we do break. That just bounced off 200 clean right there, Neil. So watch.
Amazon
okay, well there it goes. Now it goes through. There goes Palantir. I don't know. I got into Palantir there. I don't know how exactly. Right there in on Palantir. But I did. I'm long at $200.19. I don't even see that as a high. But there goes Palantir right now. Let's see if it can continue to climb a little bit here. PLTR, very, very like back and forth again. So we're not going to hold this too far back. If it breaks this 199, we can get out. So far, Palantir is the name that we're in. And we shouldn't have really got in on that break at 200. We should be more patient with those takes there. So okay, here it comes in 198.50. Palantir cranking lower. Now look at the Nasdaq.
Amazon is tanking.
Okay, so there's that play that we talked about, right? With Amazon potentially.
I'm trying to be patient because Google did this yesterday, and you really had to wait for it when Google dropped yesterday at the open. So I'm trying to be very, very patient with this. It's through 249. I mean, the gap could be. The gap is gigantic, so I'm going to try to let it settle down a little bit here on Amazon. The other thing I got up there, Bitcoin's doing absolutely nothing. Apple's also pulling back.
They're all heading lower here, man.
All of these are heading lower as we speak. Apple, I was looking 273 and a half, so it'll be Apple or Amazon.
Okay, we've got.
Can't really tell which one it's going to be here.
We've got a money trade on Apple at least. We went long well, now it's not, but we went long 275 and change. Just got it out at 276, right? 275.75, sorry, for an out. Let's see if Apple wants to continue to go. There we go. We'll get another out here. Oh, I was just at 75. Wow, the market is very like, oh, you know what? It's end of the month.
It's end of the month.
Yeah, so we're going to get a lot of different action here in these names because of end of month. And I sort of forgot a little bit about that as well. So, all right, let's just be a little more patient then with it, right? So we did average in. We just got a piece out on Palantir. Let's see if it eventually wants to break. And if it does, good for that. Back through 200. Our average price right now is just right here, 199.75. Like after all that up and down, we land right at flat right now for Palantir. Apple pulling back on earnings again, like we thought we liked this report, but maybe the market doesn't matter what I like. But there it comes right back in now, breaking back below 274. Let's not let this break too much lower than where we already are right now, 273. Let's see if this breaks 270.
It's at prior day high already.
299, yeah, exactly. Let's get out. I don't really like the way this one's acting, that's for sure. But Palantir right now is giving me 2x our day already, as there goes Palantir through 200, man. We buy the dip and we like it. We like it a lot. They're on Palantir. Huge win right now. A Dollar Club member already. There goes PLTR, man. We bought the dip into the 200 period. Bye-bye PLTR. Definitely making this Halloween a spooky one for your boy. What's going on with the desk over there? I haven't seen Adara's costume yet, but apparently she is in one. Let's go over to the desk. She always is.
Yeah.
Here it is, guys. We're going to talk here about the Nasdaq. We have some commentary coming from Kevin Hassett, who is, of course, the senior White House economic advisor. He's also potentially being tapped here for the Fed chair position. He says that we're looking at close to 4% growth for the U.S. economy in Q3. So Kevin Hassett with a very, very ambitious economic growth projection for Q3 for the U.S. Back to you.
So
man, this
I don't have a guess.
I don't have a guess either. Plant, some kind of a plant. It's from a movie. Oh, it's from a movie. Okay, good tip.
Oh, I have seen that movie. It's Midsummer.
I've never seen it. I don't know what that is.
It's actually a pretty messed up move. I almost
Is it? Okay. There goes Palantir. Good, great outfit, Adara. 201.50s. Palantir is absolutely on one right now, but the other one that's failing pretty good is Apple.
So we'll fill in.
Apple just filled it in all the way down into the downside right now. Apple's about to turn red, by the way. Let's see if it does do that, but holy crap.
I think it holds green.
We are still at our day goal right now with Palantir, although we did give it up pretty nicely on Apple. But Apple maybe finds a bottom in and around here. We can use 272 as that low, but that cranked pretty low there on AAPL.
I tried the prior day high. The next level down is not till 271 for me, so it's in a target range, but we're in and out. Actually had it pretty good, and it is what it is, man. I kind of averaged up like an idiot, so it ends up being a hit. I could have maybe eked it out, but let's say it get down to 271. The other thing that's happening is Amazon is falling pretty decently as well. So these are the only two stocks I'm looking at. Was expecting some kind of a potential sell the news event, and you're starting to get into the target areas for Amazon. So just looking for that little bit of a curl. Gonna try and read the tape on this one and see if we can grab it. I did have one short idea. It was Lumen. But the problem with Lumen, it was already down like 15% at the open, so I have to wait for like VWAP or something to calm down and give me a bit of a setup there. So it's going to be Amazon or Apple, no questions asked. These ones still falling downside. Now some buyers coming in off 247
Holy
here
shit, man.
on Amazon. Looks like the buyers are starting to come in. Might grab this 48 and give it to that 47.
Nice. So glad that Amazon's trying to get back upside. We tried to go back. We did, not tried. We did go back into Apple there, and it looks like it's not going to be that trade again for us. So, yeah, it's falling back. I thought maybe 272 could hold. We're going to get out of half of our trade if it does break again, and then we'll just wait to see how bad exactly Apple wants to go. I mean, as Neil had mentioned, there are other levels down here that we can play off of. Maybe it is a 270 flat type of level there, but I don't know. Right now, we're 4 times our day on Palantir, but we've lost double our day on Apple. So it's not a great trade for me on Apple. But this Palantir trade is now $4 in the money, and we have a lot of shares because we're able to average into it. So there goes Palantir. This is the trade that we were looking for yesterday that we didn't get. We got a great long yesterday down here at 96, but right now Palantir going through the roof, upside on PLTR. All right, Apple. Nvidia also breaking right now, so we can see what that's doing. We do have the long here on Nvidia as it's trying to break that day's high of 207.50. Not trying to, it is doing it, but you know, position pending again on this one, whether or not this is going to be a winner or not. Trying to go right now. Let's get something out at 60s, and then we'll see if it wants to mature up right now. That is, of course, Nvidia. Good trade so far.
Amazon just did.
Amazon, good, go.
It ended up holding that 48 and then failed 50s like almost instantaneously. The second it saw 50 on the offer, you could pretty much forget about it. So rang the register in front of VWAP, and I'm going to try and get back into this one on the dip. Oh wait, and we got back into Apple as well. So if we get back to this higher low on Amazon, I'm going to look for the reload. But it's Apple that just can't hold.
Apple can't do anything right now.
Can't do anything. Now you're filling all the way in to this 271 gap, or as I like to call it, this is like an Alamo level down here, because if you lose 271, you've got like $4 underneath there before it catches any kind of a bid. So looking pretty nasty there on Apple, unfortunately. That one's gonna stick the L in. I'm just gonna punch out. I'm not holding it all the way to 270.
That's a tough one.
That's silly. Like that one's looking absolutely nasty when really Amazon's the better one. Amazon is actually catching a bid here. So there's a dip, potential higher lows. Until you can start putting in higher lows, forget about it. Is Nvidia breaking 208 yet?
Yes.
Oh shoot. I don't have.
Yeah, well, I'm getting out. I'm long at 207.50 as we've written it down on here, but it's trying to go. So we do have. So basically, it's just an Apple nightmare. That's all today. As there it goes, we finally. Oh well, I have a little piece left, but there goes Apple again, breaking back down through 270. We should have just left this thing alone, you know, and then maybe we would have been able to be at least a little bit more happy with some of our longs right now. Palantir is just like, if only traded one name today would have been an absolute monster, but we didn't. We traded Apple. We gave everything back on Apple as it's not being able to find a bid. I thought this was a great report. We talked about it right there, but no, it looks like Apple short. So congratulations, man, anybody that hit the red thought there on Apple, because yeah, you know, it's making a move. And even into yesterday, like, maybe it wasn't as celebrated as we thought there on AAPL, but yeah, catching the falling knife
the market's
today.
also dropping
Yeah, but I mean that's
chips are strong.
That's because of Apple, right? I mean,
AMD is doing well.
Yeah, AMD, and Nvidia just pulling back a little bit, but
Netflix.
Yeah, disappointed there with that Apple trade, to be honest with you. Oh well. Maybe break it 270 again to the back end.
Netflix is back up.
Is it?
Well, you know what? I'm trying to wait for the curl. This looks a little better. See, I'm like, why even try to hold into that gap? It had to go all the way and test that bottom. So if the bottom's closer to that 68, 69, then back up through 270 is gonna have to be a thing. I'm not happy with myself. Usually, I'll keep it tight, good. Or I'll wait till it gets to 71. But I got in early on that 71 play, but had to keep the stop. So there's your bottoming tail. Wait for it to get to the next level. If we break underneath the low, then I'm out. You make a fresh low on this stock, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, here it comes.
Any fresh lows, and I'm jumping out. Amazon looking much, much better. Actually, it's still rejecting VWAP itself, though. But Amazon, to me, it's still looking better. I'll keep it on Apple because I'm actually in that one. But Amazon has held the higher low and is trying to break back above 250. So again, just the two names that I'm looking at because Lumen is a disappointment. Actually, that's not true. I shouldn't say that. I wanted Lumen to go down. It's just that it fell in the pre-market, so there was no opportunity for a trade. All right, close this green, and then we'll look to add because VWAP gives you a lot of $4 to VWAP. So lots of room for this to go.
Go Apple! It's your birthday. We gonna party like it's your birthday. We gonna sip a party like
it's your birthday.
All right, so we were able to get out of some Palantir there on the upside, but yeah, Apple. I went the same way, man. We went long through 270 there, but so we're able to get out like as we were singing there, but yeah, not that much. Got out of half actually on the way back up there, but yeah, look, see there it is, man. Right back down goes Apple. Okay, well, right back up. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait on Apple, man. I don't know. We're gonna wait at 270. Should we wait? Like, I still have shares. I don't want to, look the gift horse in the mouth when it does come all the way back up to the upside because Apple right now is failing pretty nicely down to the downside there. Amazon as well doing what it's trying to do. We talked about the danger of a possible pullback. How dare you report a good number? All right, so here goes Palantir. Let's get some more out on Palantir because, again, we've been like bleeding to the downside. The market is also down. I mean, we talked about wanting to buy the TQQs today. That hasn't been something that I've even thought about yet because of what Apple's been doing, what Amazon's been doing. And then yesterday, we did have a downside push in Google, and look what that's doing. We even said today, when Neil and I were looking at the chart, I said, you know what, I think actually Google's probably a short because of what it did yesterday, and there goes Google short as well. So this market is really bleeding all over itself right now into the last day of the month. It's a spooky Halloween out there for longs, it seems like right now. The market's still up 1%, but I guess it's very much stock specific. I haven't even looked at Nvidia, and that's coming back in right now as well. We're able to get out decently at the top there, but we still have half of this trade, so that's not working out for us. NVDA either. The only real saving grace for me, again, is this Palantir, and that just keeps on ripping. So let's get another piece out there at 15s or 13s and hope that these other ones can somehow turn themselves around because it's not good right now for the longs that I have on board.
It's not, and Lumen's at VWAP. So I have a judgment call to make. Apple breaks the low, and I'm jumping out of that one for the fail. And what's interesting, it'll be like a 1-to-1. Well, if it breaks the low, it'll be at a 1-to-1 with Meta. But this was, again, the only short idea I had with Lumen. By the way, Lumen actually beat on earnings. It wasn't actually like it was a bad report. They beat on earnings. But we talked about how the Palantir deal meant more than these earnings. Well, look what it did on the Palantir deal, and look what it's done on earnings despite beating. So I think this is I like the short, but given how far it's fallen, I have to see a very, very setup, like a topping tail, trend reverse, something along those lines. It's getting close to that price, but let me just jump over it because Amazon's still putting in some higher lows. So it played once from 48 to VWAP, like goes into the prior high and plays to the volume weighted average price. The next step would be, can we break that volume weighted average price? Here's the problem. Problem is, market's dumping, and we just broke the overnight low to the downside. So I don't know if that's the moment that I want to jump into a second long. So I'm going to kind of back off that until I see a little bit of pep in the step of the market. And hopefully Apple will do a little something better because it's just sort of hanging around that low.
Yeah, we're starting to crush now.
Yeah, it was able to just get 70. You just got to 71 for a tick. I have an order in front of 72. I don't know if I want. I'm not going to reload. I'm going to reload.
I have Apple.
This is the first green candle here, and after a sea of red, and that was all you needed on Google yesterday.
I'm in the 90s there. Okay, I just took some out in the 60s because that's where it stopped, but I'm still in the 90s. I'm at 92 for some reason. So hopefully this can get going, man. We're almost green again there today, but it won't be green on Apple, as that's not going to be a green one for me unless this really gets going, which I'm willing to hold on to it for a little while. But again, like I don't, it's not about turning a stock red to green. It's about just watching out the action on this thing to see exactly what is happening. And right now it's Apple time as that's starting to go back up to the upside. Nvidia's having a hard time with everything. We were able to get out of Palantir more up there at 205.50, but now this is starting to come back just a little bit as well. Let me get something out in the mid 201s, and then just watch out for Apple, because Apple right now is starting to bounce again off of that 271 area. So I'm going to get another piece out, which we just did, and let's let this thing settle down maybe a little bit and try to get back to the upside. The big worry for me here is Nvidia, because it is not moving.
Oh, before we go, we have a dare for numbers. Yeah. Tesla actually just curled 450. Same thing it did last week. Broke 450 and on the way back in. Shout out to everyone that made that the #1 list on our stock visual, or #1 stock on our stock visualizer. Yep, let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye here on the market as we get ready for Chicago PMI in 8 seconds. 42 is the forecast. Previous print here of 40.6. Also be aware, it looks like ExxonMobil could be doing a call right now, seeing some comments from them for XOM. Chicago PMI just waiting on this print to see if we get this. Hopefully this populates for us. 43.8, so better than expected Chicago PMI. Again, 43.8 versus 42.3 expected, and the previous print of 40.6. This market making a little bit of an attempt to push higher here, but still very much down from the open, though up on the day for the Nasdaq, guys. Back to you.
Put it up. All right, Apple's really starting to go, man. It just went to it just broke 271 and stopped, so it just came right back to us. And yeah, this is what happened. I thought it was starting to go finally. It went to 271.50, and for some reason I didn't get anything out there. So now it's falling back in with the market here. Apple might have just had its opportunities, and we took some opportunity there for sure. We're out of more than half of this reload there on Apple as it's trying to fall back in again into this 269 or so area. I don't even have any more bids down here, but I'm going to stop out if we finally break near that low for Apple. Maybe I'll put another small bid down there as well, just in case. So 269, because the way it's floating around now, I mean, you know, maybe we do get picked up somewhere down there. All right, it's Nvidia, man, and look at this. So we were able to get something out. It didn't even come back up into 207.50. You know, that deal with South Korea there, but it's still bouncing around here. Where's my stop? Just to make sure, right, we got to break through this 200 period, but we did just take a piece there down low. So let's see if we can get a little bit out on Nvidia as it's trying to make another move higher. So we'll take advantage of our latest fill there on Nvidia, and that was 60s. We just got out at 60s. So we just got long at 50s. We got a piece out there at 65s, but not good enough, man. Nvidia's going to have to work upside, or this is a problem. Is AMD also doing something right now? Okay. So that's not great news for us. All right, Apple, I'm going to take advantage of this again.
It just hit 71 again, and the seller is right there the second time. When I say seller, oh, no, it broke. It just broke. There was a refresher at 271 again. So I took some out. I'm going to reload this time because I didn't last time. If we get back down underneath that 260 level, sorry, 270 level. But now it looks a little bit better on Apple as it's held that bid. I'm not happy with I don't mind that. I never like it when I get in front level. If I know I'm giving it to 71, I should never take a breakout at 72 in that case. But we'll see if this can get to the volume weighted average price. Tesla, everybody. Tesla, I don't know if this is going to be the same as last Friday, but that's a pretty decent turn off 450. What I can tell you is when it failed 450 last week, it was much more violent. Like the secondary candle was not gentle into the volume weighted average price. It crushed it down in like $4 or $5 almost instantly in a matter of seconds. So it's looking a little bit stronger than last Friday. I'm not thinking short on it. I'm trying to get Lumen short, but I'm reminded it's SSR, which unfortunately means you cannot always hit the bid.
Right.
So when it broke VWAP down, I punched the bid, but I didn't get filled because it's short sell restricted, meaning I need an uptick. So it has to go up to pick me up into the short on Lumen. Beat on top and bottom, but unfortunately, stock heading lower. Just for everyone out there, HKD on their earnings, I didn't even see what the EPS was, to be honest. I know they beat revenue by like 1,000%. Still going high. The pure squeeze play.
Not bad.
Yeah, pure squeeze play. The revenues were 73 million, so I wouldn't get too excited about that. It's just whatever. It's a lower float name, so you're going to see it go absolutely ham, breaking out the high of the day. It's up there on the visualizer as number 2.
Oh, what the?
Number 1 is Tesla. That's why I was bringing it up to you guys. So Tesla, HKD, Meta we haven't looked at. Meta was a great bounce play yesterday. I don't know if it's having the same fate on a weak market. Robinhood, SoFi. Remember, jump in the chat, hit that subscribe. Whenever you talk about a symbol, put dollar, just type $sign. So dollar sign, let's just say, the first thing that came to mind is PLTR, because I guess you're in it. So I'll hit that, and then you'll see it drop down at some point, and then it'll pop up on the list. This makes it easier for us to all know what is moving, what's interesting, what we want to cover, what we want to talk about. But for now, my eyeballs are in the same 3 places. It's going to be Apple, Amazon.
Apple's a good one now, all
Lumen.
of a sudden, Neil.
Just get to VWAP, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Apple all of a sudden starting to work, man. We're really happy. We're back to green now. Again, it's been a battle, man. I mean, Palantir has been the saving grace for me. Nvidia's trying to go. Hopefully it can. We've just been getting out on Nvidia. I don't have good feels about this one, guys, today, so I don't want to keep averaging into it. Nvidia has really been the most disappointing to me has been Nvidia, but Apple, because we kept chasing it, that's my bad on that one. We shouldn't have taken it right here. Down into here is fine because we have 270, just like yesterday on Google with 280. But yeah, Meta continues lower as well. Day 2 play, we talked about that yesterday with Sharif. And that 650 area. Let's see if that plays again here today as Meta's down 1.3%. Oh boy, Neil, here we finally go. Let's go. Money, 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 money. Finally, man, money, nice move, breaking through. I mean, let's just hope we didn't jinx it there, but let's see if it breaks through finally. There we go, we'll get some 95s anyways. All right, we're out 95. Let's see if it breaks through now. O's one more time. The highest we got there was like 270, 205 or something like that. Let's see if it finally breaks it. We just took a 95 out right there on Apple, and I have an 06 sitting there right now as well, just in case we get that next little bump through, and then we can wait on Apple earnings, which got flushed real early, man, on that one. All right, Bitcoin not doing anything, but let's check out Coinbase to see if we get an idea here. 350, good marker there, up to 565, 5.65%, sorry. Now for Coinbase, looking at a longer area of about 355, 200 period and VWAP well above that. If the market wants to continue to dip down and you like your Coinbase, I think you can watch out for 340, man. It gave us this base down here between 336 and 338. So yeah, that would be, you know, the first take around 340, the 200 period. You got to make sure that you have enough shares to average in if it does come back into here. But so far so good on those plays. I'm trying not to look too much at my position so I don't get out of them all.
Meta is day 2 SSR and at yesterday's lows.
That's what I was saying. It's back at that 350 area.
What? Whatever. You know what?
Damn it, Apple just dropped $1.
There's no such thing as a good report or bad report. It's whatever the stock market decides to do with it. But come on, this was a good report for Meta.
You thought so?
Look, whatever. Objectively speaking, it was a good quarter for Meta, but obviously it's getting sold off again. The bottom was yesterday. Technically, the bottom was at $650, but I think the higher low here at 655 is going to make a little bit of sense for a trend break. I got one offer in Lumen, but I didn't get the other. So
Lumen, right.
I threw it at 69 because, yeah, whatever. It's obvious. It's right underneath the volume weighted average price, but I had another offer that did not get filled. Apple needs to break 272.
Yes. It just, right.
If it can't, if I don't see a hold over 272, I'm jumping out.
Oh, okay.
I get nervous when the fan stops because I'm waiting for
the sometimes it means that we're about to get knocked out of this
There's been a fan going all morning long here while they're doing the construction, and it just turned off. So it sounds so quiet in here.
Yeah, and then you all, I just fear that like something like the break over there. Right, and then all of a sudden it's like, bye-bye.
Because our stations lost power the last time that happened, and you guys listened to us, and we couldn't do anything.
We did buy some Nvidia a little lower than where we are right now, so let's give this one a little look. The funny thing is we wrote down Nvidia 205, and yet here I am, like buying all these levels to the upside. We did like that break early, right? Like when Nvidia took the top there at 207.50. Yeah, now I can actually even hear myself talk, which is kind of weird. But there's 207.50 up to 208. So we do think that there is some movement here for Nvidia to get back going, especially if these futures continue that upside push. And we're still $3 in the money on Palantir, but it is having a big problem with 202. So we're light on Palantir now, man. So we're going to get out one more piece upside right around now if we can. We just put a 76 offer there. I think it stopped at 75. So hopefully we could get that as it blasts a little bit up there as it's having a problem. And then it's just Nvidia that's going to go. If this breaks 206, we're out. Like it just, again, we just got some out there in the 50s. I want to leave it in case it goes. Like what is SMH doing right now? We can just have a quick look. I'm assuming it's going to be heading to the downside. We saw AMD.
AMD was down.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe, this could be a good holding area right now. I mean, it looks like the whole semis are trying to hold. So if we can get a nice little backup push, we do have Nvidia on board, right? I mean, AMD is another big one. Broadcom, AVGO could, okay, no, wow, my bad. Look at AMD. AMD is doing Oppo Nvidia right now, going upside. Okay. Made a great base of 258 there. Now, you know, they're just liking Nvidia. They're just liking AMD a hell of a lot more than NVDA. So here it goes. There's the breakdown on Nvidia. We're going to stop out once that breaks. So bye-bye Nvidia very soon. And that was a bad trade. We will flush our. How come that just didn't? Where am I getting out at here? Okay, right there. So it just finally breaks. So there it goes. We'll have to flush ourselves down the toilet. We will be red on Nvidia, which kind of sucks, but. You know, it's been a good stock for us. I can't feel bad about that trade, other than the fact that it just kept on pouring in all morning, right? We did good to get out when we did, but at the end of the day, man, it's pouring lower right now, as is the market. So good outs.
We don't have the bounce like yesterday.
Yeah, good outs on Apple, but
yeah, I just took the shot.
Short.
It might be. The only short idea I had was Lumen. So once again, I might look at Bitcoin in a quick little second, but we took the shot. I took the shot on Meta there. Is it had a nice bottoming tail forming at the prior low, but my rule is if it breaks the low of the day, I get out. Ooh, it's trying to catch a bid again. I don't mind trying the same area if it shows strength, but strength would be at least closing. Closing this candle above 656 is what I would need to see, and it's not happening yet. So as I said, it might have rinsed me out and give me another chance to get in, but yesterday this was a clean move when it did this into the volume weighted average price. So there's plenty of potential here. VWAP's actually $8 from here, so it's worth at least a couple of shots, but I need to see a better candle forming. Lumen, I am short, but the other place I was at least considering the short trade is not moving, and that's IBIT. So it's not going to be IBIT. Usually at this time of day, if we're looking relatively weak, I think, okay, what's Intel doing? Like the chips were...
We have a new position.
It was just AMD. Intel's at the low of the day. I'm not shorting lows of the day here. It feels like that feels like a trap.
Yeah, we have basically a new position, so we'll just siren up right now. It's the TQs. I wrote down, I mean, look at the bottom today is 118. Like, so stupid, man. We lose money on Nvidia, but look at the TQs. 118 longs. Dips only to be bought. 118, right? It's at 118.40, and the low of the day is 118.01. So we missed that opportunity chasing the dream over there with Nvidia. And Apple's dream has been fine. It has not been, oh, it was a nightmare temporarily, but it's been okay. And this is why you flash out when you can. You know, Nvidia went down to 205.25s right there. So we saved ourselves like almost 75 cents by getting out on that 206 break. We actually got 205.92s or so. So we saved ourselves a little bit there on that breakdown at least. There for Nvidia, but still not a great look there for NVDA. Hopefully it can rally, right? We have the Qs on board, so that should be enough to rally the name higher, the Nasdaq higher if Nvidia goes. Here's Reddit. You can basically forget it today. It's not, you have a big move up there into 230, now the fall back in into 215, 216, and now the bump higher into 220. So we'll wait to see what happens here with Reddit. A good story for that name today as they beat everywhere and 17% short float on RDDT right now. I'm just trying to monitor my own positions a little bit.
I hate you, Meta. So here's the thing. Okay. I follow my rule and stop out at the low, and now the top is in. Well, the break is in on Meta, but I found something else which is breaking trend if I'm going to end up missing that, and I think it's going to be Roblox. So this is Roblox. Look, Roblox also reported. We can get into the fundamentals a bit, but this just broke the downward trend. As we're going to go to Adara at the news desk. What do you have for us?
News.
I have some gene editing related news here. I'm seeing this circulate on X that the FDA apparently clearing way for faster personalized gene editing treatments. Keep an eye on CYRX, SGMO, CRSP, and EDIT, as well as potentially DNA. Here is CRSP. Of the ones I saw, this is probably reacting the best to this story. So CRSP pushing higher. Again, apparently we're seeing that the FDA is clearing the way for personalized gene editing treatments. Back to you.
We were talking about like different types of names that could go, and I was like, oh, I want to look back at some of those like gene editing names and whatever. And I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to get. At one point I had Pat B, and there's CRISPR and all that kind of stuff.
The science is crazy.
And then obviously I don't actually make a decision and buy any of them. And they're going to run today because that's how. No, but that's how it works, man. Like
yeah,
sometimes,
of course. You missed.
Sometimes you have an idea. It's like, well, if you think on the day, one of these might be a buy. Maybe nibble into one of them. But look, I missed the boat on Meta there. No, we lost the thing again.
They got it.
But Roblox, I don't know if my chart's on right now.
It's back.
It is. So there was a trend break. And when I saw the trend break that obviously I mucked up on Meta, I didn't muck it up. It ran the low. So I just kind of had my stop and then my stop got run. I didn't get back into it because I'm not going to chase that move up there. If I was in it, look, I'd be taking profit here and I'd be taking profit there. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Roblox, very similar idea here. It broke trend, pulls back into the pre-market, I guess, bottoms or like this level here into 115, and then look for the volume weighted average price at 116 on Reddit. Sorry, Roblox. Roblox is a day 2 earnings play. I still think this setup means somewhat of a short, but it's not really setting up a short because I thought you'd have to pop back into prior highs or into the 122 range, which clearly did not happen. Apple's still struggling a little bit here. It's holding 270, which is nice, but I averaged up. Like I bought at 70 and then I bought again at 70.50. So if it can't hold on to this 70 level, I'm going to jump out of it underneath 270. If it holds 70 and kind of breaks this little downward trend, I can add back in and still play the game into the volume weighted average price. Yeah, kind of a crazy day this morning. And you know what we haven't even talked about, Sean? The biggest earnings name yesterday was Alphabet. And look what they're doing to it again today.
That might be a top time to buy that name.
Again, it broke 280. It's trying to fill in the whole gap. So 275 would be the level I'm watching here on Alphabet. But this market on a Friday, I don't want to call it a free fall Friday because the market's up 0.8% the Nasdaq. So I can't call it a free fall Friday. But you look at some individual names, and they're not exactly doing well.
No, there's not a lot of hype here today yet. I'm trying to get in and out of this. I mean, I'm not getting in anymore. We've already bought our 118s right there, so we're long at 118.01, and we just got out in the 20s. So this one could be a 1-to-1 trade. I mean, if we break too much lower than where we are right now, 119.85, 117.85, then we're going to get out on that most recent low. So it actually hasn't really broken yet, but it looks like right now with the futures starting to do these kind of moves back in, it will potentially break. Yeah, good. Go grab it. But right now, TQ's trying to make some moves lower. We were getting out of some Apple right here as well. I feel like the market is just going to fade out, man. You got Meta going lower, Google going lower, Apple now heading lower, Nvidia also heading lower as well. Wow, Nvidia's breaking the day's low right now, and AMD also. So, man, yeah, I know it's not a free fall Friday because we're up 0.8, but we're also up 1.5 or so at one point. So we've given a lot back here on the day. We call for Adara? And let's go.
Let's take a look here at this market, which, you know, as Sean and Neil were saying, it is actually up on the day. It's just very much down from where we opened, though. Looks like the SPY did try to make a bit of an attempt at recovery here on the most recent 15-minute candle. Once again, and like we're going to see for the next couple weeks, earnings are really ruling the roost here in terms of what we're looking at. And specifically this week with big tech earnings, we had 5 of the 7 Meg 7 names reporting this week, including Amazon. AMZN right now struggling a little bit, but gapping up here more than 12% at its pre-market highs with a double beat here for AMZN, specifically AWS growth at strongest since 2022. Then we had Apple AAPL, also a double beat, but not quite as rosy as Amazon, which with 2 of the key metrics that we look for Apple, iPhone revenue and China sales, both falling a little bit short of estimates. Last but not least, NFLX doing really well today, announcing a 10-for-1 forward stock split, which has been long anticipated for this ticker. That split's going to be effective as of November 17th, 2025. Before we send you back to Sean and Neil for more Halloween trading, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Right, thanks, Adara. What a roller coaster here. I was actually just telling my wife, thanks for the costume and everything. And I just told her, like, what a wild day, man. I was like down. I was up really good in the beginning, then down, and now flattish here on the day. So, but yeah, wild day. All right, so the TQs continue to go a little bit higher here off bouncing. I mean, if we just waited and actually took this trade, which we did take, but if this was our only one, ifs and buts, right, then we would be fine. But we did wind up taking different trades in there today. And, you know, on our sticky note, we did have a break of 207.50, so I cannot hate on that. But when you fail the break, there's no point in waiting. We were able to get out a decent amount, then back out some there as the market continues to make new lows right now, actually, as we speak. So we're going to tap out of all of these names if and when we finally break. I'm trying to find that stock visualizer. So here it is right here. Let's go over this and figure out what names you guys want us to look at. So, Open Door. Okay, so Open Door is still getting some talk there. HKD up 31 subs, up 82%. That's a good one. Robinhood. Oh, you know what name I didn't look at today was SoFi. Lumen down 12%, Coinbase 6. Yeah, I wrote down, actually, you know what? I wrote down, oh, thank you, Miss. That's good. Yeah, I prefer regular milk. Thank you, Neil, for that one. We wrote down 29. So shout out to Abs over there. Sorry, my bad, Jesse Barfield. Oh my God, you will not believe. This is just ridiculous. Again, trying to chase dreams is a great thing to do. That is for sure. But right there, long SoFi 29. You know.
By Apple. Damn it.
That's what we wrote down. That was supposed to be a trade of ours. We just got out of the TQs as the market broke the lows. There's 29. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. We'll see if that comes back in for us at some point there. But yeah, the TQs breaks. So I got it at 75% of it on that break just to see if there was an extension, and it looks like there is. So we're going to hold just a little bit to see, because yesterday's closing bars, we come right into here. I know it's just because we shut it off. I shut it off at 4:30. That's when our charts actually stopped working, or at 4:30. So that's why yesterday when Apple came out, we didn't even have the chart. So I had to use a different one. But right into here has been a decent level anyways, is what I was trying to look at. That's 117.17. So I think we can hold this last little piece until we get into 117 and possibly average in down into there. We're still up on the TQs, so it was a good trade. But obviously this drip down is not making me very happy. So that's that trade. Palantir, I'm kind of just sleeping on it a little bit. I only have now like between 5 and 10% left of this trade. I mean, so many outs up there. Was a good one. Yesterday's IPO, NAVN, N-A-V-N, we crushed that on the short 22. That goes to 1975 yesterday. Looks like it goes even lower this morning, down into 19. And there's that 1975 holding. So NAVN on day 2 looking much better. There goes the TQs back to the upside again.
Apple's catching a secondary hit here. We'll get to some of the other names, and thank you for the super chat there, Josh. But I'm trying to reload Apple in here. Roblox is still trying to go. So Roblox, it broke the trend. It held the prior bar low, so it's still, I guess, it's still on pattern. I should almost consider a reload. If we close kind of holding this bar on the 3-minute, it's like 113 1/3, then I'll reload that, see if we can't still get that volume weighted average price. But you're getting a nice curl here. Okay. All right. I just said okay because Nvidia, well, pull back close enough to that resistance where I think this is now the curl. It's breaking the trend as we speak. So if trend break is happening on Nvidia, I should be in 20 cents ago, realistically, because it actually broke at 45. So 15 cents ago, but I'm kind of leaving the order in to try and get picked up. There's another trend break. VWAP is a little tighter here than Roblox, though. That's the thing. Like there was more room for upside here on Roblox to the volume weighted average price because the market's trending down.
Oh, wow.
It's when the market's trending down, I'm thinking trend breaks only to VWAP, and there's Roblox. It was holding. Gotta leave it on this chart. I'm trying to get in. It was holding. We got that first move. It gave you the dollar, but then it came right back in underneath that 113 level. So slightly up, but you know that didn't really follow through for us there. Like you want that break to get you a little bit closer. I just feel like the market is not seeming like it's strong enough to give you the reversion all the way. Like individual names are bouncing and giving you these clean trend breaks, but the only one that followed through to VWAP was Amazon, and that was a while ago off the open, and it's right back at the lows itself, Amazon. So the new one for me is going to be Nvidia. If I'm thinking long today, about the only thing available that I'm seeing are these trend breaks from the bottom. So I'm just kind of waiting for something to set up. It breaks the trend. I punch in, set my stop, and hopefully it'll fly.
For the best.
Just like the Jays are going to fly.
Yes, exactly. The Jays will be fine. Okay, there goes Palantir. I mean, Palantir is an absolute monster. I mean, I just wish it was the only stock that I traded today, and it would be a much different net day for me. But you can, you know, go back and forth with all of that. We're going to be up on the TQs. We're going to be down on Nvidia, which is too sad because it just came right in, man, right to 205. Like, that was, again, the level that I wrote down. Like, it's just not following plan today and getting a little too excited and thinking that maybe the market was going to crank, you know, as far as it did. And we had 205 written down. So that's a mistake for me. So hopefully we can, you know, rectify that at some point and maybe even get some more in. I mean, and this is what, you know, I'm looking at it every day. I look at this note and I think about it like, you know, we should be following everything on there. It's the first thing I wrote down was 205 long or, 208.50 break. I took 207.50. That might have been a mistake by me again. So, oh man. But anyways, a new South Korea chip deal sparks another rally there. The SoFi long also, we missed that, and we miss Nvidia long. So we miss all of these things, right? The only thing that we wind up getting is Apple, which breaks well below that 275 area.
Amazon just broke the low.
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't break the low yet on Apple, but we just
Amazon.
Amazon did. Sorry. Yeah, we can have a quick. Do you have it up?
And right back. Okay. Wow, they just rinsed the low of the day on Amazon. Well,
yeah, I mean, there's still.
It hasn't held yet. It's still actually trending down, but they just took out the low of the day. I say they, I just mean the market broke the low. I still like Amazon, but I haven't found a good spot to get back into it yet. That's not a distinct enough. Like, there was a bottoming tail last time. That was an obvious setup. When you see that kind of bottoming tail candle, you could have grabbed it on even the open of the next bar. But I'm not seeing it yet on Amazon. So I'm going to, again, just going to stay away as we go back to the desk. Adara, what do you have for us?
Yeah.
Keep an eye here, guys, on NVIDIA. Hyundai Motor Group announcing they're going to be using NVIDIA Blackwell AI tech to support, quote, a lot of AI-based transport systems. Now, we know that Hyundai and NVIDIA, we already kind of heard some mentions here, I believe, from Jensen Huang during the DTC conference that there was some kind of entanglement there. So not brand new information, but either way, keep an eye on this. And there is a move up here for NVDA and continuing to see this circulated on X. ExxonMobil as well. I'm still seeing comments from the CEO, so just be careful and aware if you are trading today. ExxonMobil, back to you.
All right, more outs here on the TQs at 118.30s. It seems like that's going to be the high. So again, we got out of 75% there, which kept us still green, and then we punched some more through 118 there on the long. I am waiting for some more Nvidia down at the low side. We did have Lumen. Some people were asking about that one on the chat as well. Thank you for everybody, man. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe. I mean, we're here in our costumes, trying our best for everybody. Down 13% right now is Lumen as that continues to go lower there. So deal with Palantir, that's nice, but that was days ago. And now with earnings, Lumen falls right back in. I mean, looking for support. I mean, it's funny because I guess we're there now at $8, but that's going to be a good level there, like $7, $8, where we popped up through on said Palantir. But nice move down for Lumen. If you like the stock, I mean, this would be not a horrible day to think about starting a position. You know, falling knives can continue. We see that today with Google and Meta and things like that. So just be careful on your positioning in those specific names, especially ones that tend to, you know, have bigger 12, 13, 14% moves daily. Lumen doing it today as well. So they had one on news and then reversed that the other way around. So yeah, I'm just still starting to sit here. I'm still looking for some short ideas. I don't know if you found any. It might be Apple might be the best short idea.
Apple is definitely trending downwards. They just broke the low again. So, you know, Apple's going to give it up. Between the shot on Apple, well, it's I hesitate to say shot because I've been 1, 2, 3. So 4, 1 for 4 on Apple, and then we lost on Meta. So that's like 1 for 5 between those two reversion plays. The good news about mean reversion is the one reversion on Meta to VWAP yesterday makes up for 1 for 5 on these. But again, I actually would argue I should be up because one of these was not a good entry point. If I'm more patient, I should never have entries like this. It should only look like that, and that. I really don't like that one. But it is what it is. You just got to be able to move on to the next. For the small cappers out there, this might be your day. You know, sometimes it's easy. I say this a lot, but when the market and the Nasdaq it looks like this, and we're just all red, sometimes the long is pick something that's a runner, or pick something that's like a short name or a small cap, because you have a better chance at the longs in something like that. HKD happens to be it, but I think this thing is.
Yeah, HKD is a different beast.
If it was me, like I would be, somewhat aggressively taking profit on this stock. It tends to not hold up for very long. I'll leave it at that. I'm actually going to pay for locates for lunchtime or like in the afternoon.
Go Apple.
Actually, I should do this. No, we don't have locates. I should never assume, but we don't. I'm going to pay for them at some point. Not now. I think it's too early now.
All right, so we reloaded it. I mean, I thought you were going to say stick with, you did say stick with runners. And then look at this, man, $5? Money. Like, the minute I put this hat on today is when we should have been like, okay, it's Palantir time. And we nailed Palantir yesterday, man. Palantir yesterday was a great trade right off of here. And then again, like, let it breathe a little bit in there for Palantir. We liked the 200 break, right? That's what got us in the first time. It faded back out. We played off some of these levels from yesterday, and it wound up holding, which was nice, holding the 200 period, unlike its brethren. Wow, there's lots of stocks that didn't hold that today. I mean, we can go over many tech names.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, everything but Palantir, because the real money and the biggest winners in the stock market is Alex Karp. But there it goes, man. Palantir up to 203 and change, up another 4 and a bit percentage points there as well. I'm going to try Nvidia if it does come back into 205, because again, it was a level that we wrote down. We thought we liked it. We're going to give it to that local bottom of 204.75. So if it does break down below that, then we scramming out of that one. But here it is, man, a nice reload on that downside for Apple. And I know I'm talking about the same names, but honestly, like, I'm putting in a lot of risk into some of these names, so I can't really just leave them and start to talk about other things, but there are many other names. I mean, we had Intel today as well on a story. I mean, some of the stories today that were important to all of us, right? We had the strong earnings. I'm just going to go over Sharif's note there. We had Amazon, which was a good one there. Coinbase beats everywhere, so we can have a quick look and see what Coinbase is doing. I always look over here to see what's going on with Bitcoin, but right now, every time I look down, it's 109.9.
Roku.
So it's still doing that. Roku was another name that reported.
It's up 14%.
Yeah, so that was a good one. And then Reddit also was popping on earnings earlier today as well, as here comes Apple right back down again. Reddit up 17%. So yeah, Roku and Reddit, man. I mean, forget these mega cap names.
Yeah, but at least Roku,
I'm going to get some more Apple.
At least in the case of Reddit, like Reddit, yeah, I could see it. Roku, whatever. My opinion of Roku doesn't really matter. Roku's strong anyway, so it doesn't matter what you think. It's a stock, it's breaking out, and it's got some squeeze potential to it. And you know what? Let's be real. The chart actually looks pretty good. It's a very long range from like 50 into like this high that's finally breaking out. You pretty much go the entirety of the last 2 years between $50 and $100, and now you're getting the breakout. So shout out to everyone that happens to like Roku. I wish I did. But I don't.
Yeah, it's all good. All right.
I don't know anyone that has it. Oh, Apple has a trend line finally.
Yeah, but it's still hitting it and reversing.
Well, that's the thing. But at least there is one. So
it's driving me nuts.
But before, I'm just going off of even dollar levels. Now there's something different to work off of here. Like I was just sort of saying, hey, let's go to prior high and 272 instead of 71. I'm shaking my head because I'm an idiot. Should have been 71. And then 270 was okay. Now there is an actual trend line on the 3-minute. To give me some kind of a different entry, which will be breaking the trend line, happens to be at 270 again. So that's what I'm looking at for Apple. But Amazon was the one with the big, we're talking about 20% on Azure, AWS, come on, Neil. AWS growth, which is exactly what everyone was looking for. And it tanked a little bit, filled in a bit of the gap, but it's trying to break its trend as well. So those are the two things I'm looking for. It looks like Amazon's gonna do it first. I might nibble in. This is very close to closing above the trend line.
What the hell just happened?
We just have like,
video.
I don't know, like a minute or two, 1 minute before this actually gets a close above the trend line.
Up. It's our moment. We're together. We're glowing.
How do you know the words?
We're gonna be golden, cause my wife just messaged me them because she's watching it, and she's like, Neil is definitely the guy from
the beanie's supposed to be yellow.
That's the problem.
But it's Blue Jays Day. I'm like, I'm not buying. Well, actually, I would have.
Neil is golden. Okay,
I would have bought a yellow one, but I'm like, I have to wear something Blue Jays while I'm on air today.
Yeah, man, of course. Represent those Blue Jays. Today, the Blue Jays face everyone's Los Angeles Dodgers, who
pitcher
will hopefully
on the planet right now
not have our
scares the
number
crap out of
again today. The great Yoshi Yamamoto.
He's so good.
Okay, but you know what? Hey, that's the thing. It makes it more special. Like if we
100%.
can beat their #1 guy to raise the trophy.
I love watching greatness. I'm one of those I'm not going to be in a good mood if we lose tonight.
Well, then
But
you have
like
to
I can always like when we lost him in game 2. Like I could look back the day after and was appreciative of the fact that I saw a guy who was just absolutely unbelievable, even though it kind of crushed us. Is
this
what it
hedge
is.
fund keeps getting stuck up in here.
It is
Hedge fund. Fabian.
Where's
Wagwan?
I expect Fabian. I have to admit, I kind of thought you would dress up.
He had the best. He had the best outfit last year. He had the
he
roaring.
represented
the kitty of Roar.
Roaring Kitty.
He had.
Which was perfect, and then it just.
Hey, how about Vladdy first inning home run?
Maybe. How about I'll be happy with an RBI single. Let's
Bet you $100.
done.
Okay.
If it's one of those bills, yeah, for sure.
Imagine what the odds are of first inning home run. I mean, Schneider and Vladdy.
Against this guy, he doesn't give up bombs.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be happening. We do have a super chat there, Andre. If you can grab that
Get
for
it out
us.
of the yard.
All right, Palantir still now back up to the highs. The TQs are finally going, so we're going to get some more outs here on the TQQs. Was there one, Andre? Or did I miss it? Oh, we have a lot of them. Okay, things are starting to settle down. I don't want to miss super chats. That's the one thing that Neil and I, obviously, as I said, I'm trading with hundreds of shares every time. As everybody's, we're all busy trading is what I'm getting at. So part of the problem is that we miss some of the super chats, and I do apologize. And I think that's why the midday gets to them really quickly as well. So we want to do that. So Andre, I don't know the best way of doing it, but we can start firing them off. Anyone that you see,
can put them on screen.
Yeah, then we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. So thank you so much. Happy Halloween from Can't Get Right. There's a lot of volume coming to BQ. Okay, BQ was a name from yesterday as MSAI. So BQ yesterday was halted back and forth and up and down. Wow, we are four nice
That was
positions.
the Chinese stock, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's halting again right now. MSAI, infrared company, popping up as well here today. So that was a good one. Day 2 play, right? MSAI yesterday was a nice little runner, breaking that dollar up to $2. I think we had Luis on about this show talking about getting volume, breaking above $1. Okay, Neil, now we are on one right now. There goes Nvidia. Let's go. So it's not up that huge, that's for sure, but it's definitely helping your boys net. We are almost back to green again right here on the day, but good couple holds there on Nvidia. We are getting some out at 205. It's starting to break a little bit higher, but this stock to me looks pretty broken, honestly. I don't understand why Nvidia is doing this. It just hit all-time highs a couple days ago at 212. Now trying to fade back out. Its brother AMD is doing okay. Broadcom I thought was doing better today. No, so I'm wrong on that one. Broadcom not doing well. Not a healthy name there either. So far so good though with the futures. We're up on it and it's dancing around. I mean, I'd like to see it go the other way. Here come the futures downside right now. So let's go back over. We just did good to get out of Nvidia. Some at the top there, but look at Nvidia cranking lower now as well. All right, did I hear a call for Adara? All right, let's go back over to Adara.
Let's talk here about this small cap recap. We'll start here with LUMN, Lumen Technologies. They are, I believe, still red on the day, but really nice push up here after open. And the earnings report from them, which is the reason they're on watch today, was not particularly bad either. They actually had a smaller than expected loss per share and better than expected sales, so double beat for LUMN. Next up, the aforementioned MSAI. Sean was just talking about this one. No new catalyst for this, but it ran yesterday, and its most recent news story that I could find was actually from Friday with a $14 million private placement. Last but not least, a fan favorite, not necessarily the smallest market cap, but Open Door on watch, OPEN. No news on them. They do report after the bell on Thursday, so stay tuned for that market recap. I'm guessing that will be Sean and myself on November 6th to give you those earnings. So OPEN, though, making a move to the upside. Before we send you back to the guys, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. For too long, trading or risking your own money, or never having enough to start. The fear of losing. That's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital, which Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth, When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, which is powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Back to you.
All right. Nvidia, thank you, Adara. Nvidia needs more space. Okay. I'm just going to say that because I feel like there's enough story here that it wants to try to go up. We are trying to bounce right now off the 50-period moving average. We're trying to bounce off of the 200-period here on the 5-minute chart as well. We're coming right into a nice little level here of 204.50. So I'm going to give it to 204.50. We just bought a little bit more there on the downside of Nvidia. So let's just wait to see. We did get taken out once it broke 205 the first time, but it just bounced off of that 204.50 area. I'm going to give it to that right now on Nvidia. I'm going to take a piece out because we do have a nice little reload there as well. But so far, so good there on the reload. And I just told Marissa, like, this has been such a wild net day for me. And she said it's because I'm sitting beside a Saja boy. So I'm getting the vibes over here. Like, this guy's a wild man over here beside me. So this guy's a demon, and I got to make sure that I'm watching my P's and Q's over here. But Apple, again, we're going to wait to see if we can be a little more patient with all of this. There it is. Generational costume there from Willis Addison. So for you, Neil.
Well, you know what, to be honest, like, this one was, it's for my daughter. I was, usually I'll do something a little bit, better is not the right word, like bigger is what I like to.
Well, you did Mr. Freeze that one year.
Yeah, it was Frozone.
Frozone, sorry, yeah.
But look, we've done like Star Wars as a family. We did like the Halloween, Tim Burton Halloween as a family. Like, we always do a family theme. My daughter gets to pick it, and I'm not going trick-or-treating tonight because I'm going to be at the Jays game. So I'm missing a big day in our family, which meant she has to be able to watch the show, and I'm in the family costume. So I'm a Saja boy today, despite the fact that I'm not going to show you the abs. It's absolutely not happening because I don't have them. Ain't got them, son. The other super chat, let's go. Still in Google, 285 puts from 288 resistance. Willis Addison, congratulations. I wish this wasn't happening to Alphabet, but it is. Alphabet went red.
He hit the short? Oh, yeah.
And look at it not even try to hold that 280 level.
Nice
That's
job,
what's bad. It couldn't even hold on to that 280. But I think it made a little bit of a, see that trend break in the bottom? But that's what I'm hunting for in all of these names. Just looking for that clean entry. Like Nvidia tried the trend break. It couldn't get to VWAP. Now it's got another one, the all-day trend. Stop talking, get in. The all-day trend just broke. You get an actual pop, so there's your heavy trend line break, but then when it tops out here, you get another point to the actual high of the day, which is, again, another setup. Little bit different because the bottoming tail's too deep. Got to give it to this bar here because that's the best you can do. That's like 204, for anyone watching, that's like 204.85 or so. So Nvidia's trying to break trend. The Nasdaq's trying to break trend. Pretty much everything. I did finally find something that was like a half decent short setup, and that was Intel, which is trending down, and then kind of did this, broke underneath VWAP, which I always like when something breaks under VWAP, but also breaking a very slight downward trend. And I'm like, well, can't find too much that I like to the short side, and Intel had some room. So room to the low, and a decent setup underneath the volume-weighted average price. So I'd call this one like a B setup because it's really early for a VWAP trade, but if the market were to trend down, I feel like it would be a good one. But I'd much rather Nvidia get to VWAP, Apple get to VWAP. That's much more interesting to me if the market can do the bounce. Took a lot longer to find these bottoms today, I think. And thank you, Josh.
Oh, Hims.
And, okay, I don't know the other symbol, so just, I don't know CONL. But we can definitely look at it. HIMZ, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. That's a 2X on Hims. I didn't even know that. Sometimes we don't look at these. Hims obviously having a good day. I'm guessing it's going to be a 5% because this is up 10%. Nice Hims. This is working off the bottom. I usually like looking at the actual, it's just for myself because I usually look at the normal chart. So I'm just going to go back and do that. It's the same thing, right? Double bottom, almost triple. Oh, no trend break yet on Hims though. So this could be nice. A close above the 200 period moving average is almost like a swing long at the end of the day here. If it closes above the 200 period moving average, then you've got lots of them.
Demonetize us.
What? You can demonetize all you want.
And that's exactly what we're doing. All right, there it is, man. All right, so soda pop, as hopefully the market keeps going up right now. So good little play here. We're going to figure this all out now. But Apple, we're getting a little piece out on the top side of that. And I don't know, everything else is doing fine, man. We've got 4 longs right now on board, and they're all major mega cap names, baby. We've got Apple now $1.30 in the money, as we hope that it can continue to.
The whole idea is that you can't help but do the shoulder thing.
All right. I don't know any of the dances. I just do it.
It's not even a dance.
Oh, okay.
I guess technically it is a dance, but thank you, Sam. Good morning. Yesterday, I super chat you about Lulu. Is it a good time to buy Lulu since monthly candles close like you said? Okay, well, I mean, yes and no. It's the 31st, so you're halfway right about that. But my condition for Lululemon was, and I'm just going to pull up the chart I was referencing, because I did say this like 2 weeks ago. If the entry point for something is holding on the monthly, obviously, what are the odds that this somehow drops $10 in the next few hours? I'd say pretty unlikely. But technically speaking, the month hasn't ended yet. And what difference does, to me, if I'm looking at something on a monthly chart and look at all the room it has, it could double and get to the next 50 period here for Lululemon. So who cares to me if I buy it on like today or wait till actually the candle closes. At any point, if it looks like it's going to close above next month on a green candle, I can just buy it next month. My whole plan was to buy it next month. Maybe I like to nibble in next Monday.
Someone asked about Lulu?
Yeah, I might nibble in on Monday. But to me, I'm not getting a full position in this thing until we get the next month. So I might buy a little bit in November and then wait till December for a little more confirmation. Look at the time frame is so large and the room to go is so big that as long as I get a price underneath $200, I'm not going to care about that. So yeah, I get it. It's just not there yet for me to be loading in. Certainly next week I might pick up a little bit, maybe 20%, and then wait till closer to the end of the month to get another maybe like 30%, and then buy the other half at some point in December to look for a big move up. Like it took us 6 months to get down here, so I don't need to rush in the day that it happens to be holding before the end of the month. Look, it's the right level. This is the chart that I was working off of, but it's not necessarily
there it is.
An entry yet. To me, if I'm using a monthly chart for my technicals, then I should use the monthly chart to respect my entries. Like I can't be using, I'm not getting in on a day trade, right? Like it's a longer time frame trade.
Yeah,
right,
thank you for all those super chats. Yeah, I'm down, I just checked, I'm down 9.2% on Lulu.
But if you look at that level, so there is, technically it's got room to like $320 on that monthly chart.
I don't have a problem with holding
a couple of beats, and that stock by mid next year, I think could be at least 250.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Another one? Oh. That's the short at EDH. Prior day high.
Ooh.
You know what's funny? Like,
good one.
I feel like we should have got that way faster.
I was thinking about it because, you know, it's a year-to-date high, YTD, stuff like that. Okay, so yes. I mean, all right, so...
Yeah, but Tesla's so strong relative to the market right now. I don't know if that's what
I was going to say. The big thing is kind of looking at what the market's doing right now. We're trying to break a little bit higher on the market, which has been really great. I mean, we have the trade on the TQs. So we're long the futures, we're long Palantir. Like we're $7 in the money in total right now, but still trying to absorb some of those hits that we had earlier. So you want to know about yesterday's high, past day's prior day high, rated to there. Where? I mean, we're already extending through all of those levels right now. So yeah, I mean, I like Tesla here. We've always liked this name. It's you know, but look at how good that was right into there on that low break right now. I would say, yeah, Tesla has room to 460 here if the futures get going. And I would say watch out for that 461 and change. But here's the prior day high right into here. So that's why I had to zoom in. So yeah, we just broke it, it looks like, right into here of 930. So yeah, great level pick up there at 453. I think if you have that, hold it down to the 200 period moving average is 450. I think you can get a good little run here in Tesla, especially if this market does try to climb back up to day's high. Look, man, $1.50 now in the money on Apple we have. We have now $1 in the money on Nvidia off of the low there. So that was a good take for us. Palantir's $4 in the money now. And the TQs are finally starting to go. I got to get out some of this one as well. TQQ, let's get out some more upside out here because I don't have anything out. So there's an out into the 50s. Yes, sir, man. Today is a good day. That is for sure. So we're hoping that the market, and this is relatively undramatic right now, but we do hope that the market does have a little bit of a soda pop in it right now, Neil. So let's go over to Adara.
Be aware here of Vale, V-A-L-E, CFO of the company saying they're likely to announce extra dividends in the next coming months. So again, V-A-L-E on watch. Also keep an eye here in this ALGM, Banyan Hill, which is, I guess, a news or, a finance-related publication, saying this one could be a long idea, calling it part of the, quote, robotic revolution. So ALGM with this long call, and then VALE, CFO saying they're very likely to announce extra dividends over the next few months. Back to you.
That's not art. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, there's a SPAC IPO
Thank
that
you
I
very
wanted
much,
to look
Adara.
at today, but I don't think we have it in the system. Viking is the SPAC. Yeah, so there's if you're looking, it's not a traditional IPO. This is a SPAC today called Viking Acquisition, and it's got whatever. Like you're pretty much always going to open around $10. That's how they work, and they don't move a ton. Like if one of these goes from like 10 to 10.30, that's actually a good move, and a 1.2 million buy balance. But that's not a traditional IPO. It's a SPAC IPO, very different from what we would normally look at on the IPOs. I've been wanting to just grab one if I can get tight to that $10 level and just try to scalp it if I could, but we don't have access to it today, unfortunately.
All right, so new position alert. Let's go. Finally got our SoFi, man. All we're doing is trying to follow our plan of action. You can go, I'll put this in the sticky note. I'll put the sticky note in the chat right now for those of you that are joining, man. It's where I write down all the trade ideas that I have for the day early, right? It doesn't mean that, like Palantir, for example, I don't have on here. We had it on there yesterday, but always on our mind. Neil covered it off the open there, but there's SoFi 29. We missed it the first time. It went to 29.50. We got it again. Nvidia 205 long. We have that. Apple was a disaster. We've talked about that. I mean, we're in Apple now. We're up $1.25 on it, but that took a while. That did not came in, and we did not think that. And then the TQ's 118 long is now 65 cents in the money on that trade. So was it 65 cents? What did we do? I can't believe I'm in 5 positions right now. It's absolutely nuts. But there's the SoFi trade. We just got 10s, so that's so far so good. It does break below, and then we gave it a sort of a heartbeat there, and it was down for a couple of minutes, and then it started to go back up, and I actually didn't notice it until it broke through 29. So I probably should have had it during that break, but I'm not stopping out there anyways. I put 75 as my stop, but now that I see where the market is, and this is starting to go upside, let's get some more out here. I'm waiting at 13s, and then we'll see if we can get a 23. That would be great. And there we go. There's 13s right now. Bang. All right, so that's working out for us. Nvidia is now finally into the club that we are very familiar with. That is the dollar club. So there it goes right there for Nvidia. Just faded though off of 206. Let's get another out in and around 206 because my best out is only 83s. So there, I'm at 96, I thought. Is that my Nasdaq? Did we just get printed there? No, what am I offering? Oh, there it is. We just got out there. Okay, so O's. So there's a couple outs there on Nvidia at this side right now, but this is what we have, man. We have the TQ's long. That's a monster right now. It's 50 cents. SoFi's trying to go. That's a nice one. Palantir right now. Bam! Palantir, man. I mean, this stock, not only are we wearing the damn hat, but we like the stock. We love Palantir. This has been my #1 stock in my portfolio for the last 5 years, so we're pretty happy with that one. And then that's that. Nvidia we have. That's $1 plus, and then Apple is $1.30. So right now we're sitting in 5 on Palantir, 1 on Nvidia, that's 6, $1.50 on Apple, that's $7.50, plus another $1 with SoFi, so about $8 or so in the money. Now off the bottom, not having the most productive day, despite having these in, because early was a disaster, basically to the downside. But I heard we have
there was another super chat there. Can you please talk about Alibaba from Tola?
Ooh, I love Alibaba.
Just one, before I get to that, got to mention, trend in. If we fail VWAP on Nvidia, then I'm jumping out. These have been the only setups at this particular point. So if this fails VWAP, I'm going to get out of it. I do have that up. So if you see it jump out, that's the reason why. The weird thing about Alibaba the last couple of days, get China deal, move down. Saw it with this, K-Web, JD, all of them trending back in, kind of a sell the news event when they were able to strike a deal. The good news would be respect to the 50 period since the August low, look at the jump on the from the 50. So if you get back into, it's like 161, I guess, technically, but the support's down at 57, so anywhere in that range, I think it's got room to maybe fall back in, unfortunately. Sometimes you get a bit of a sell the news event. In this particular case, progress on talks and the pushback of some of the tariffs ends up causing a bit of a sell-off. But I like BABA more than I like, say, I don't know, like a Pinduoduo or like a JD. So it's a stock I like. It just probably has a couple more dollars to go. And then thank you, Ben Weiss.
I really like
AMC at 250. You know what the sad thing is? I haven't looked at AMC in so long that I don't even know if that's good or bad.
I think it's $4.
Is that good or bad? That seems like that's bad. Yeah, it sucks. Oh my goodness, AMC is about to flat bottom break its 52-week low. Yikes.
Yeah.
The squeeze names are Open Door now, by the way.
Yeah. Open Door, BBAI, I think has a really great chance of squeezing as well.
Why do people still look at that stock?
I don't know. There goes AMC. I think people are just probably stuck in it, or. But there it goes, man. There goes SoFi. So there it is. So finally, right back up into the 50-period moving average. I'm actually out of 65% right now of SoFi. Hit our target. You know, when targets are hit, sometimes you gotta you gotta take those outs. Look what's hitting right now. Is it VWAP right there? So ring the cash. Hedge fund. Damn it! This is supposed to be a hedge. These are funds. Hedge fund. Okay. So that's starting to go. We are now really starting to explode now, Neil, with Apple, as that's back up to 271. So we'll take some more outs. Right there, Money Bush. Yeah, whatever you want to talk about. Right there. Dollar Tree, people were saying.
I like Dollar Tree.
I like Dollar. I really like Dollar Tree. Yeah, nice move higher here. SoFi, I'm going to get one more piece. Even though I'm going to get down, just get out a small piece here. Okay, well, I'm wound up punching out. Oh, well, or did I? No, we got 20s there. So out there at 20. Off of a long 99. So far so good on that one. And you know, we're flat on the day. You know, which kind of sucks because, like, you know, having all these big winners, but we were down a couple days right there when that started to happen and making a couple days back now, but that's why we're flat. And I mean, same thing on Nvidia, right? I wrote down 208.50, like I have no idea why I punched 207.50 there, but I mean, at least it's the pre-market high, but I'm not sure why we did that. That was a mistake by me. And then we tried to support the 200 period, which we really like, and that didn't work. And then the flush happened, and then we finally went back to our roots, which is the note of sticky. Doesn't sound good. The sticky note, which gave us that 205 long, which we've just been hitting since then. And we did get stopped out a little bit, but then we bought it back. So now we just continue with this run up in the market back to VWAP, which is why we take that out there on TQQs. So I'm going to take another out now at 73. We'll sit there and offer. There it goes. It runs us through. And there's the out there on the TQs. So let's just see if we can go from here. But I feel really happy. Yeah, chlorophyll. Yeah, we need a fill. Yeah, chlorophyll. That's another good one. But this was stock market based, theme based. Thank you to my wife for putting this together for me over the last couple of days. And it's a good one. It's a nice, quick, easy one. So I want to thank her for that. One more out on Nvidia, and then we will throw over to Adara because I still do have a bunch of shares over in Nvidia. Nvidia is my largest position right now. Out of all 5 that I have, it's Nvidia with the largest amount of shares. So, yeah, there it is. Yo, thank you so much to Trav, man. Also, let me see if I can get that. I hope to do the very, very same thing that we've been doing. I don't even see it in the chat on our thing here, but I'll just pull it down. There it is. So thank you, Trav. There it is. Yeah, thank you. He got it. Andre got it there. Yeah, it's watching us destroy Nvidia since their split has been greatly inspired to me. That's the whole point, right? It's like once Nvidia got into that $100 level when we split, 20 or 30 to 1, whatever it was. I think it was 2,000. Yeah, I think it was 20 to 1.
Was it?
That just made Nvidia just so much more attractive for me to trade, and I do hope the same thing can happen. And thank you so much, Trav, man. I mean, hopefully real sees real. You can see some of these trades that we're putting on. We should actually go over and look to see, like, year to date, what are the #1 stocks traded here at Trader TV Live. I mean, most of them, we really nailed some of the IPOs, but other than that, some of these stocks, look at Netflix on that split news. Right?
Well, the thing is, one-offs skew that so much.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
so I wouldn't even include those.
That's the thing, because also Liberation Day, skews some things as well. Like Liberation Day, there was some like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's some bottoms you got on Liberation Day that were like ridiculous.
Appreciate you, Trav, man. All right, man. There goes Netflix up 3.5. Should have bought that one, man. On the news, TQQ is now $1 as well. So there you go for everybody trading it. We're now $12 in the money or something on all these positions. The market is really rallying. So yes, sir. Saved once again. All right, Adara, what you got for us?
What I have, guys, is some sector watch. Let's take a look here at these sectors. And as you can see, there's an awful lot of green, and the extent of the green is even outweighing some of these sectors that are a bit weak. And we'll start with tech services, which I think really exemplifies that. We've got ServiceNow down 3%, IBM down 2%. All three of these Mag 7s in this sector down in the vicinity of 1%. But then these moves up in Oracle, Netflix, and Palantir, all offsetting that weakness. Then we have Nvidia and AMD to the upside in electronic technology. Finance a little bit more mixed. Retail trade here being buoyed by an impressive move to the upside here from Amazon on earnings day one. Health tech a little bit mixed as well, with AbbVie weighing the sector down a bit on earnings day one. Producer manufacturing green, consumer durables pretty green here, again led by Tesla, transportation green, and energy minerals. Interesting look here with earnings CVX green, but XOM actually red. So energy minerals could be a sector to watch today, guys. All in all, a little bit of a mixed sector board, but the names that are strong are very much outperforming or outweighing the names that are struggling a bit. Back to you.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good way to put it. And when you talk about relative strength and weakness, another thing to look at is as we're breaking through, I'll get to NVIDIA in a quick little second, but as we're breaking through the volume weighted average price in the futures, you're kind of breaking this upward trend that we're in here in Apple, and you're not getting to VWAP. So for me, I'm going to jump to the exit. Maybe wait for, it could double bottom or triple bottom, but all my entries, I'm looking for the trend breaks, because really, like, the support levels did not work today, and only the trend breaks did. Like, that's the truth with Apple. Like, support level, no good. Trend break, good. Play support, no good. Runs. Actually didn't break below there. It's kind of weird. Might have misplaced my stop. It actually never broke the low of the day, and I got out. But I jumped back in. Yeah, I didn't even realize that I misplaced that stop, because I was looking at another stock for a trend break in the moment. But actually, I probably should not have jumped out of that long. But it doesn't really matter, because it did. And then it broke the trend, and that was a little bit better. It was the same thing with Nvidia. Like, Nvidia played a trend break. That one didn't work. This one did. I jumped out when it lost VWAP. I can always jump in if we're going to hold on to the volume-weighted average price. That's a big if. And Amazon is still, it's trying to do its best. Unfortunately, I can draw my trend line and like it. But if the entry is this little break here at 246.5, and I don't get that fill, I'm not chasing it all the way up here. It completely skews the trade, because if I'm in here, there's only two places to stop. It's either tight stop or deep stop, and that risk to reward is no good if I take it up at that top. So Amazon's still looking not as strong as the rest. That said, if you're looking, we haven't really talked too much about it. There's still not much happening in Bitcoin.
No.
But what I like about, well, there's not a lot to like about it, but what I like about it from a trading aspect, if you look at yesterday, like, it just went sideways, 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 and it gave you this sort of obvious, like, it was downtrend, and it just held resistance, and then when it finally broke down, it was kind of worth it taking the breakdown underneath VWAP. And what's it doing today? Like, I know it's gapped up, but can't break out the high, kind of going sideways, sideways, market's going ham, and it's not going ham, so I might look for a trend break downside on IBIT, just to have something that I like to said downside. So looking for that reload in Apple. If it gets back down to, it's like 270-ish or underneath 270. Yeah, and then a similar thing with Amazon. It broke that trend line, but I need to dip back in so I can get picked up.
Apple has been fantastic late. Was not great early. Adara, I have to shout you now immediately, because Marvell is up 10%. MRVL. I looked it up on our Benzinga Pro platform, and I don't see anything on Marvell. So you guys tell me, but this is a big stock that I've been tweeting about. Yes.
I want to mention another one that's strong here too, Robinhood. They got a price target increase to 155 from KeyBank. That's it that I'm seeing. But Marvell, I will go to social media.
It's not the same space.
Okay, so nothing on Marvell in the major news. But, like, we had bought Marvell before earnings. You know, $75 or 74 and change. We were already in Marvell from before. But we bought it into earnings thinking it was going to be a good earnings call. It was not. It was a bad earnings, just like Google, just like, well, not like Google, sorry. Everything but Google pretty much yesterday. And then we bought again on day 3 because we believed in it. And now all of a sudden, pop goes the weasel. We did get out of 20% or so. The first time when it popped into here, not the first time, but when it was coming back in, I was like, we're gonna have to watch out for that. But right now, Marvell, rate upside, and Adara has found something.
So it looks like this could be Amazon sympathy. Let me explain why. So I went on social media, I looked this up. Apparently, it's being attributed to the fact that Amazon spotlighted increased demand for their in-house Trainium processor, custom AI chips. Those are apparently designed and manufactured by Marvell. So that's why here, again, the Trainium surge, which is tangentially related to Marvell. That's why MRVL is up as far as people are speculating here on social media. I've not seen anything else, but that seems to make sense, at least for now. Back to you.
Okay, perfect. I mean, we've always talked about the picks and shovels and the fact that, you know, silicon and all these kind of things that need to be in place. We talked about the server racks, you got SMCI, Dell plays, things like that, the big data center plays, power names and all that for the AI revolution. And I am a big, big fan of Marvell. We've talked about that numerous times, so it is nice to see it. And before I throw to Neil, just real quick, I just want to see when Marvell reports. That's all, because this is going to be, they're always late, I feel like, later than the rest of them, that's for sure. So let's go into the calendar here. Ahead of earnings, Marvell, confirmed dates, did they, 12? No, that's not right. August was their last day. Yeah, so wow, they're not going until December 2nd.
They're after Nvidia often, I think.
They are. I mean, I knew it was late, but yeah. December 2nd?
Sure.
I'm not sure. No, but
I just saw somewhere. I saw somewhere else say the 26th of November. I'm going to check a third.
26th of November, maybe.
Nope. Then I also see a third source says December 2nd. So 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I mean, the Benzinga hasn't.
December sounds about right for Marvell.
Nasdaq.com
I would say it's not going to be earlier.
December 2nd. Yeah,
okay, so now we're confirming that with Adara, we're confirming it with Neil on Nasdaq.com, and it's right here on Benzinga. So you can see, look at the explosive growth in revenue, right? 6%, 27, 63, 57. So they're starting to get going here, Marvell. I really like them, man. EPS growth, 4%, 30%, 61, 60, 120. So that's why they got dumped down last quarter, was they did miss from the previous quarter, the numbers. I guess probably the guide, not great either, but we're going to wait to see what happens with Marvell. And it's not going to be an earnings name, right? Because we are so far away. So if you are really excited about what's been happening with Marvell, then maybe trim a little bit. I think I'll probably go in there and do that. I'm going to double check with my account and see what's going on right there for Marvell. But for right now, things are starting to drip down a little bit. So just before we go to Adair, we got some out there as we broke below. Now we're at the 50-period moving average. We can get out some TQQs as well. SoFi has been like the face slapper, man. We wrote down SoFi $29 on this sticky note. It's at 33, so there we go. We'll offer 35s and get it right there as SoFi right back up to the highs. This is another good one for us there. VWAP, someone talking about Roblox. I know Neil was in that one, but for now.
The names I'm looking at, the only name I'm looking at right now is actually HKD. Like now that I'm out of both of the longs, I'm eyeballing this. I had to pay for locates on this. Took a while to get them, but it's lower high and a trend line. I wanted it to set up, so you've already made a top and then putting in a lower high, so a little more confirmation. If it breaks down. That way I'm not shorting it to the high of the day. I don't like shorting these to the high of the day. So if it breaks trend, I can give it to 5 instead of giving it to like 540. That's what I'm looking at. Since it broke 4, there's your trend. If it breaks it, I'm going to try to jump into this one. Here I think we're going to Adara, I believe.
Yes.
The US dollar really wants to break that 100 level. The last time we've been above 100 was Friday, August 1st. Now, basically 3 months later, it looks like we're trying to press into that level again. High of day right now for the DXY around 99.8. And as you can see here, still getting those higher highs, higher lows from that Fed decision. Higher than back in September anyway, so more than a month ago, continuing in this uptrend. So with regards to economic data, again, we haven't had very much just due to the fact that we have this government shutdown. We do have some Fed speak and watch later today at 12 p.m. We're expected to get a couple Fed speakers, namely Hammock and Bostic. But I also want to mention we did get CPI Chicago PMI coming through, my bad, the Chicago PMI coming in a little bit higher than expected at 945. And I do want to talk about, speaking of rate decisions, what our expectations are for December, because this chance of another 25 basis point rate cut keeps going down. Yesterday, it was around 72, almost 73. Now it's roughly 63. So since Fed Chair Powell said, don't expect a December cut, these markets seem to be expecting one less and less by the day. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe on this Halloween trading day.
Yeah, and despite that, we said that like if cuts were going to happen, that would be good for a stock like Opendoor. Well, it's rallying without the prospect of, I mean, we're still projecting a cut in December, but not the same odds, let's put it that way. Because Opendoor is one of your runners du jour. What's this gap fill? 770 into like $8. So a little bit of room to go to $8. Of course, this is the moment that HKD is trying to break the trend as well. So I have my eyeballs on HKD. But I think this, as long as it holds the lunchtime session over 770, let me zoom it in for you, over 770, this could have some continuation to $8. Kind of thought this would be a better play if the Fed had been, if Powell had been a little bit more supportive of that December cut, but it seems to be working anyways. So nice little area for it to hold. I didn't see the super chat. Thank you very much, Sarah, for putting back up there, Andre. Can't get right. I love that. What show or movie is the character can't get right from? I know the show or movie. I just cannot figure it.
Yeah,
thoughts on CRDO? Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you.
Yes.
As well. Credo. Load. Rocket. Ooh, okay, so when you have a blue sky setup, I'm not the best when it comes to blue sky setups because like the technicals about there. I like support and resistance and trends. So ultimately, like all I can tell you is when you're long these, you hold on to them till it breaks the trend. And then I tend to think of it as, okay, well, from the high at 175, the move down was to 130-ish, so call that $45 or so. So the breakout, give it $45, and then that's my target. I would put like 220 on it for room. So I'd be like, I'm holding for 220 or a break of the trend. Because that's the only way I can evaluate blue sky setups. I don't use Fibonacci's and certainly like there's probably charter market technicians that have ideas other than that. So yeah, good breakout if you're already long. I just always look at the move from the high previously to the big support and kind of extrapolate that higher and then draw a trend line on it and say if it breaks trend line, I'm out. Otherwise, I'm holding till it gets to that 220 level. So there's how I would look at this stock at least.
All right, we're getting ready to get out of here. So I'm putting in my stop orders 118.39 or so, which will be a decent move down in the futures. But we've just gotten out. So I have like about 5 to 10% left of all of these positions. It's not a huge level for me to worry about right now because we've cashed it out, man. We cashed out on the 200 on the VWAP, cashed out on the 200 there, cashed out on the highs of which is not great, but 118.30s, which is where we're trying to stop out at. That's about 40s right there. So that's my stop there. To stop on Apple as well. I'm going to give this one. We've gotten out of pretty much everything of Apple. Apple is my #1 losing stock on the day today. All right, so we lost on Apple what we made on Palantir. So that's why we're flat on the day. So that kind of sucks, but hey, man, we got to be honest with everybody. There's SoFi. I don't need to tell you if we won or lost on that one. Obviously, that's a big one. I have an offer here in the 60s. Hopefully that gets filled, and then we'll be out of SoFi, and that is a monster. So that's a good one there. And then the TQQs. We'll be up on them, but not as much as we should because of that stop out rate there. And then we reloaded it, but we never reload like. It's tough because you catch these this is not even really a falling knife, but you catch this move and you don't know if it's going to continue. So breaking 118 back to the upside was a little bit of risk, especially when I was giving it to this low of 117.50. I did not want to put on a big amount of shares because we were down on the day when that had happened. Now we're flat, so it's all good. And that's just some of the stop levels that I have. So right there, 118. I should probably put it to 50. I put it to 30 on that one. Palantir, my stop is a break of 201.50. That's going to be VWAP. Nvidia, my stop is 205.50. So that's about to come in right now as well. So there's a lot of these names starting to come in, but at least we can look to see what's for lunch. Okay, we do have Obi filling in today for Sharif, so that should be fun. So we say hopefully Sharif has a great afternoon as there goes Obi walking around back there. Looks like he's going to be dressed up. Today we had for breakfast pancakes.
Hold on, Obi. Disappointing.
I'm a hedge fund, by the way.
No protein.
Robin mentioned that I'm losing.
No protein at breakfast today.
No.
which
No proteins.
it doesn't work.
Right there. What's up, Obi? This is a hedge fund. But Money Tree is also a good
Everybody
one.
keeps saying Money Tree.
Money Tree's good. Or Dollar Tree.
I like Dollar.
Dollar Tree, the stock.
Tree.
I am the package.
Okay, wait till... Obi, you're not on yet. Okay?
Save it for the reveal.
Calm down, Obi. All right, we're happy with Obi. Obi
Better be hitting add to cart.
maybe remove from cart. We'll wait to see. I don't know how expensive he is. I know he's expensive. I'm waiting for Prime Days. I'm waiting for Prime.
You gotta wait
Days.
for a discount.
I'm waiting for a discount.
I'm always
I
waiting
want
for
to
a
get a discount.
discount.
You're going to see what Obi is in a second.
What do you know about camel?
Nothing. What do we know about camo? I don't. This guy's too much.
I have no idea what that
all right, let's get back on track here. What's for lunch? Okay. Right now, we are going to have a great time with Obi and Joe on the midday. Both these gentlemen are dressed up, so get ready for that one. All right, it's not bad today, Neil. It's Cajun, which this will be bad for Adara because it's going to be a little spicy. It's Cajun crusted chicken.
Already a win. Once you said Cajun,
Yeah,
you win. That's a win.
They do. I mean, the tilapia is blackened tilapia, which is Cajun.
Yeah, but the time they put that seasoning on it was actually the only time the tilapia was any good.
To me, I'm liking this next piece, corn succotash with couscous as well.
Yeah, that'll.
So that'll play for sure. And then Neil and I, of course, will be having our salad, which on top of it will be the Cajun crusted chicken, and then hopefully with the side of this corn succotash. So you wascally wabbit.
Succotash.
Nvidia making a move back higher now. I'm just going to hold, man. I mean, we're going to wait to see where we go into this. I'm going to hit the gym up during the midday. I don't believe it's raining out. It was a really nice day coming in. It was a little bit of rain.
No, it's supposed to stop already.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully it stops, and we say a happy Halloween to everybody out there as well. And I'm fighting a sneeze.
Coffee Care team, it's just like skip the Jays game and go trick or treating with the fam. Not gonna happen. It's the World Series. It's the World Series. I can't.
I mean, will the World Series happen next year?
Look, if it happens, it happens.
Maybe.
But
will Halloween happen next year?
It will. My daughter's still at the age where, like, next year she'll still want to go trick or treating. So I probably have a few more years at least.
Let's pop on Nvidia. I'm getting some out.
Look, we have a couple of people are asking what our costumes are here. So before we get out of here, for anyone that doesn't know, maybe you don't have kids, maybe you don't like Netflix. I'm a Saja boy. Why? Because my daughter absolutely loves K-pop Demon Hunters, and I was supposed to go out literally dressed full gear as one of them with her. She's going to be Rumi, and my wife is one of the other. I don't know which one my wife is going to be dressed as. But because I'm going to the game, I can't go out, so I have to participate. And I had to do something Blue Jays. So I don't have the yellow beanie. I had to do something Blue Jays today because we're going to win the World Series tonight. So, and I'm going to be losing my mind on the streets of Toronto, hopefully tonight.
Yeah, you're a little soda pop.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and I was a hedge fund, but I'm losing money here.
It keeps falling off.
It's coming up. Well, because it keeps getting stuck over here. And
these hundos are just all over the place.
The hundos are just getting thrown around here like they were earlier on Apple, but they were just going. They're going. On Apple, it was just going into the paper shredder. There, but I want to thank my wife for building this together. Obi, I could have been Dollar Tree, I could have been a Money Tree, anything like that. It's 11 o'clock.
Yes.
All right, Saja Boy.
So we get to see
I always thought it was Soja Boy, but now I see it's S-A-J-A. Right there. Soja Boy up in these. Yeah, all right, that's a Soja Boy that I know right now, man. Superman, these.
Oh, man.
All right. Thank you so much. That apparently is all of us as well in the back, but sans Obi. We need to have an Obi on there.
Yeah, there should be an Obi.
You know.
Yeah.
Ramin must hate Obi, I guess. Is that what we're coming up to?
Allegedly.
I thought you were Tyrone Biggums.
Tyrone Biggums? Oh, like right now he kind of
about
looks
me,
like
Joe
it.
Rogan. I smoke rocks.
Yeah, a good one of those.
Yo, Tyrone.
You potentially were him.
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I should have done Tyrone Biggums for Halloween. I love Chappelle Show.
Congratulations to the Dave. Sorry, go on.
How have I not done a Chappelle Show character for
That's what I'm saying.
Halloween
You just did Biggums perfectly there. Congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens there that made fools.
Oh, come on.
When is Mike McDaniel
Congratulations for beating them.
when is that guy finally going to lose his job
Tomorrow.
in Miami? Like, what
This
a joke.
week.
All right.
They can't get rid of Tua because the dude's cap
Contract,
hit.
yeah.
The dude's cap hit is like 50, then 60, then 70. They can't cut him.
I don't know if it's Tua's. I don't know if the game plan.
No,
is
they
right
got
over
to.
there. I don't know what.
You got to get rid of the coach first, and then see if Tua gets any better.
Tyreek being hurt. I mean, there's always excuses. Every team has hurt players.
Miami's a problem.
Like the Giants are playing better with Malik Neighbors. I don't even know how that's possible. Okay, so now they lost Scadaboo too. So the Giants
I like that.
Are a little bit in problems there.
Scadaboo's one of the most entertaining guys to watch.
I have a feeling that he's going to have a lot of injuries though, just because the way he plays.
The way he plays.
Yeah, he plays so strong right
But
there.
you gotta love him.
There's only one team that's ranked first in the NFL though, everybody. So
after we beat the Chiefs.
Maybe. I still think Green Bay will be ranked number one, but I hope that's going to be a great game Sunday afternoon, man. 4:25. Hopefully we're still celebrating the Jays win from Friday night.
I will.
Not from Saturday. We're celebrating tonight's win with your Toronto Blue Jays. So go Jays, go. That's Neil. I'm Sean. We're going to throw to Obi and Joe. Thanks, everybody.